What? Hello. Looks like everybody can hear me. That's always a good start to the stream. How are we doing today? Hope that you're all doing well. I'm doing pretty okay so far, you know? I think that today, the last couple days, I feel like I've been sleeping a little bit better than usual, right? You can hear us double. Wait, what? What do you mean you can hear me double? Can everybody hear me double? It's not showing me double on my outputs. Okay. Emily hears me single. Okay. Oops. You maybe have me open in 2 different tabs. That might be the case, Spider. But like, hello. Anyway, Spider, how are we doing? Baphomet. Emily Lawrence, of course. Raven, hello. I guess I will say, like, despite the fact that I feel like I've been sleeping better, I am definitely tired. For sure. And Elk Owl I saw in here a minute ago. What's up? We got a couple people over here in the YouTube chat. We got Soy Boy and Paul Hack and Jimsy. Hello. So we're going to be doing our usual thing where we chill for a little bit right here at the beginning. We just kind of talk about whatever we feel like talking about. And then we're going to join Demon Mama for probably a pretty short period of time. She's doing her 20,000 subscriber call-in stream special. And I figured I would just hop on and chit chat with her. I didn't have a topic in mind when I got in touch with her mod, but I think what I want to talk to her about is like, how is she strategizing for like how to deal with being a political commentator? Like, what do you do when you're off stream to like wind down? Like, how do you disconnect? What are some things that she's doing that she enjoys recently? That kind of thing. I think that it would be a constructive conversation where we can talk about like, how do we take a step away and take care of ourselves? What's up? What's up, Guitar Rocker? How are we doing today? I hope that you're doing well. We're entering the new year and I feel like it's going okay so far. You know, I don't have any major complaints so far. I'm in a grumpy mood, something like a decent portion of the time. I think I need to start taking some vitamins. That's a wintertime thing that you got to just do sometimes is take vitamins. Love the background. Thank you. I am pleased with it so far. So this is, it's like a work in progress. I think that I want to add double the vines. Like this is 1 packet. I want to get a second packet and make it just double the amount of vines. And something needs to go over here. I think maybe something 3D printed perhaps could go over here. I haven't quite nailed that down yet, but then back here, there's going to be a mushroom body pillow, like a nice long body pillow that has mushrooms on it. No trans flag. I've decided that I don't want to do a flag in the background. Who has 2 thumbs and is catching up at 2 times speed? What's up, new and all? We haven't been going too long, so you haven't missed much. Just the music. My year has started off not so great, but glad yours is off to a good start. I hope that it gets better for you then. I mean, you know, I just feel like there's nothing especially bad happening. A body pillow with mushrooms on it sounds like it needs to be washed. True. A sexy mushroom body pillow? No, the new restrictions on ads on YouTube means that I can't have suggestive mushrooms in the background. That would be fun though. It would be very amusing though. I did if you were here at the end of last stream, which there aren't very many people here, interestingly, I feel like usually we have more people here right at the start, but that's all right. Yeah, YouTube will stop the sexy mushrooms. If you were here at the end of last stream, I was talking about a toy that I was considering buying, and I did buy that. It was not horribly expensive, and EB the Purple sent me money specifically to buy it, so I figured I should follow through on that. So that's going to be exciting. Yeah, I bought the thing. Hey, Blue Spectra. I watched Critical's vid about the new ad updates. The updates are not good. Yeah, we talked about it a couple of days ago on stream last week sometime. I'm doing this thing. Listen, I actually have to start doing vocal warm-ups before stream, apparently, because otherwise this is going to be the first 10 minutes of stream every time. Oh shit, Jimsy says I have to buy a new engine. Oh, that sucks. like buying the new engine, getting it replaced and everything. It sounds like a fucking monumental nightmare. All right. And what's up, Analia? Like, I want to have like a positive start to stream, because the news that we do have to talk about later, and not have to, like required to, but the news that we possess to discuss later on in the stream is very, very unpleasant overall. I mean, not like more unpleasant than average, but we're going to be diving back into the anti-trans laws bullshit and all that nonsense. So, but for now, I wanted to mention that, like, I have been thinking about expanding my abilities artistically and musically. And with music, I have a keyboard, like it's a shitty plastic keyboard, you know, but it's a keyboard with all, it's like, I think 76 keys. So it's not a full keyboard, like it could be bigger, but I'm learning how to dinker on the piano keyboard, and in the process of that, and actually as a bigger priority, like the bigger priority even more than like learning how to actually play the piano, is learning music theory. So that's kind of the thing that I've been spending some of my creative energy on this past couple of days, is like I've been watching some videos about actually like what are chords, like what are keys, how to figure out what chord in what key. So that's been a lot of fun. Any keyboard is a good keyboard. Yeah, I'm just a little bit salty because I left the weighted key nice keyboard that my granddad gave us with my partner at his apartment. So I feel like, yeah, I'm just like a little bit salty about that, because I do have, like, technically within my ownership, a nicer piano. Hey, Winter Nightmare and Juneau, Alaska, what's going on? We got Mama Mephistopheles and Sasha Larius. Hello. Piano is really good for teaching yourself music theory. Like, I feel like it's the best instrument for trying to learn anything about what music actually, like how it actually works or anything. As a self-taught musician who can't grasp music theory to save their life, good on you. I just been watching YouTube videos. That's all I've been doing. I'm just watching YouTube videos that kind of like walk through and explain stuff. And it's just like, oh, a major chord is like this because the notes are this many half steps away from each other. And like, so the, like, if you're playing like a C major chord, it's exactly the same. It's not just the same finger placement as the F major and the G major chord, but it's like also, because of the way that the keyboard is designed, like the same number of steps in between each note. So it's like, that's why they all sound the same. If you have the patience for it, mod trackers are usually free and a really good option for starting off on making digital music. Wait, what? I don't know what a mod tracker is. Also, my keyboard is super far away from my computer. That's why all music students have to take piano classes. I didn't know that you actually have to take, like, when I was in high school, I played, or actually starting in elementary school, I played violin. And then 1 year in high school, I played viola. And I've played the two different types of ocarinas that are popular right now, like the English pendant style and the inline Zelda style ocarinas. I have been I've been like beginner intermediate level at guitar for like a while, because I've dinked around with it when I was a teenager and then haven't fucked with it a lot since then. And I'm getting back into it now, but I need to actually I want to actually learn the instrument and not just learn like how to read tabs and like play a couple of songs, because that's like the level that I've been stuck at with guitar for fucking ever. So I don't actually play keyboard piano. Like, I've dinked with it, but like I haven't. It's hard for me to actually like play it. But now, here's like a piece of advice. If you have something that you want to do on a regular basis, and you find that it's difficult to get yourself to do it, you need to just put it out in the open in a place where you're going to pass by it frequently, or ideally in a place next to a place where you wait. Like, for example, if you frequently find yourself waiting on the water to boil, you're like standing around in the dining room, like as you wait for your water to come to a boil on the stove, put whatever it is that you're trying to do in that space so that while you're like, you're like waiting, you would normally be on your phone, but they're like the guitar or whatever, like put the guitar in the corner of the dining room. And so like when you are waiting for your shit to come out of the microwave, just go pick up the guitar and like fuck with it for the time that it takes for your shit to get out of the microwave. It's not as good as sitting down for like 30 minutes of practice, but it's way better than not practicing at all. And that's kind of what I've done is like the guitar and the piano are just in a place where I pass by them often and they're close enough to the kitchen that like I just go to them. That's why I put my exercise clothes right on top of my dresser. Yeah, it's like a visual reminder. Like make it easily accessible to you. Like I need to set up my art space and I have all of my art shit unpacked out of the box, but then it got put immediately into a bunch of drawers. So I think I'm going to have to like set out an art project and set out the art supplies and leave them out there on the table that I have set up for that, which is also in a place where I'm going to pass by it frequently. So these are, when you're like self-employed and you have a difficult time doing any of your hobbies because you have ADHD, you have to come up with stupid ways of tricking yourself into doing things. Using those spare idle seconds to practice is how I did voice training. I mail failed over voice before in person. That's funny. Yeah, like this is the ADHD struggle. At least that's what I'm going to call it. Drink water. Hail hydrate. Delicious. Okay, hold on. One more. So yeah, we are going to be talking with Demon Mama. I think here in about 10 minutes, I will try to get in on the voice chat over there and get my headphones on and everything. Always possessed by the executive function demon. True. Do you ever watch How to ADHD? I feel like I have seen videos from them, but I haven't gone in deep. This is why a lot of my music teachers are also really into yoga / meditation / grounding techniques. I have also been doing yoga recently, which is really cool. Hey, Carol, welcome in the YouTube chat. You have not missed much. We've just been hanging out kind of casually for about like 15 minutes. When's your slot with Demon Mama? My slot with Demon Mama is like presumably not very long after I get in touch with the mod team, because I am a special boy who gets priority status. So I'll talk to their mods and be like, hey, can I jump in? And they'll be like, well, she's talking to someone right now, so can you wait for about 10 minutes? And I'll be like, yeah. And then we'll get on. That'll be how it goes. So, well, pretty soon, in about 10 minutes, I'll go ahead and drop a line to the mods. It's fun when someone tells you like, oh, hey, I'm going to be unavailable at this time, and they don't specify what time zone that they're in. Jeez Louise. What's up, Halfling Rogue? Welcome in. Yeah, only here for a few minutes. That's cool. We're chilling. We're talking about like how to be productive, I guess. Like now that I've been living here for like about a month now, right around, I guess like I it's only been a few weeks actually, maybe not exactly a month. I don't know. I have to figure out like when did I actually start like living here? But no, I'm finally getting to a place where I'm ready for some routine. So entering the new year, we're getting our shit together, okay? This is the year of getting our shit together. Yeah, we have a couple of recommendations for how to ADHD. Oh, by the way, I also wanted to say, if we ever have, and I'll have to bring this up periodically, if you ever have a link during stream that you want me to check out later, post it in the Discord stream chat. There's like a channel in there called stream chat. Post it in there, because then I'll know like, oh, somebody brought this up during stream. Because sometimes I will miss things, like I won't open a link from one of you guys while we're streaming, or I'll open the link and then later it gets just like closed by accident and I don't end up checking it out because I don't remember what context it came up in. What's up, Joanna? Listening on the way home from the gym. I'm doing yoga and calisthenics. That's what I'm doing. I'm doing wall push-ups and fucking leg raises and fucking 20 to 30 minutes of yoga every day. Just gather all the shit, put it in one place. Yeah, Winter Nightmare, getting my shit together, finishing all my crochet whips. I don't know, you can actually see it real quick. Hold on. Let me shuffle some things around really fast. Okay, I guess, so, like, this is a tab that I've had open. Actually, I guess I'm just gonna say, like, I have 3 tabs open right now that are all related to works in progress or projects that I plan to start that are crochet projects, you know? My allergies are fucking terrible today. I'm so glad that I don't have allergies. It's weird how warm it is right now, isn't it? It's like unseasonably warm for January. What's up, Corpse Candy? How are we doing tonight? Just started a new crochet work in progress. I think the other 12 are very jealous right now. It's still pretty chilly here in Tennessee. It's like, it's been like in the 40s and 50s this past week here, I think. So it just feels like a little bit... Oh, hey, Caro, you're working on the hexagon cardigan? The one that... Are you talking about... Is it the same as the red and black one that you posted in the Discord? Because that shit was fire. I want to make one. Like, especially, you made it in those colors and it made it look super demonic and, like, cool. Crochet is what I do for a living. I have 10 to 20 work in progress right now. Oh, no. I thought about selling crochet. I just don't... I'd, like, where? I don't want to do it on Etsy. They take too much of your money. Maybe I should sell them on eBay and have you all bid on them, and then I'll be like, a percentage of this goes to charity, so that I make a little bit of money and then some money goes to charity and everybody wins. We're expecting rain later in the weekend, lows in the 30s. Okay, so we're gonna have some frozen rain on the sidewalks. That's gonna be great. It's warm here in Washington. Still cool, almost a warm windy day like fall or early spring. I thought that the appeal of living in the Pacific Northwest was that you didn't have very serious, you don't have very serious winters up there. Like, isn't that the appeal? I saw that you posted your fursona, but I don't think I checked it out. Where was it? Yay. Oh, very nice. I like that you have drawn it yourself as well. That's definitely cool. What's up, Mersh? If you want to see Baphomet's Fursona OC, you should join the Discord and go to the furry channel in the Discord. Oh, okay. We've got a few different crocheters then, because, yeah, someone posted a couple of really cool things that they had made recently for their crochet projects. Oh, Baphomet, you're going on Demon Mama stream? Cool. I guess I'll probably end up getting in a little bit after you. Usually January is much colder than these, even if the winters up here in the Pacific Northwest are mild compared to places like the Midwest. Okay, that's fair. You're saying it's unseasonably warm relative to what your winters are usually like anyway. Makes sense to me. I've been learning how to make lace. I want to make an entire doily, but lace making takes forever. Seriously, hold on. This is like the closest I've come to doing lace. I'm gonna see if I can find this thingy real quick. Let me see how fast I can be. This is actually not the thing that's most close to lace that I've ever made, but it's nearly. This is like a string of snowflakes. I made several, but I mean, so this isn't actually the most impressive lacy thing that I've done. I gave one away. I made a spider web choker necklace, and I ended up giving it to my stepmom because she thought it was cool, and I was just like, yeah, you can have it, I don't care. And then I actually have another smaller snowflake that's more detailed somewhere. I just don't know where it is. I know that I saw it recently, but you know, when you move, you like pull shit out of boxes and then you post it somewhere, like you put it somewhere else and you're like, fuck, like I don't know where anything is anymore. All right, I'm just gonna throw that across the room. You might want to get in contact with the mods when possible. Yeah. Is Alora still in there or is she offline now? She said she was gonna dip and take a break. Beep 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 beep. Okay, Alora is still online, so I'll just message her real quick. We're gonna get on the wait list. Here we go. Have you ever tried embroidery? Yeah, Caro. Someone taught me how to do embroidery when I was young, but apparently they taught me like the most shitty and annoying way of doing it. Like I was only taught the back stitch, only the one stitch, and I don't know, man. I'm not sure that embroidery is the thing for me. Since you live in Kansas, have you seen a tornado? Have I ever seen a tornado? I don't think I've ever seen one in person. I've seen some really like active cloud activity, but I've never seen anybody like I've never seen any like actual tunneling, like swirls, you know? Luckily for me. Because that usually means that you would have incurred property damage. Like if it's close enough that you can see it, it's probably not going to be a good time for you. Come on now. Okay, I'm gonna join the waiting room now.
Hey, Zephyr.
Oh, hello, how are you doing?
Can you drop your socials in the stream call-in text thing so we can get them on screen for you?
Yeah, one sec. Okay. It's like, is it even worth it to bring up Twitter anymore?
Zephyr, you there?
Oh, hold on.
I'm not hearing you in the waiting room.
I just saw them typing in stream call-in.
Oh, that's possible. Yep.
I might be on push to talk. Nope, it's on voice activity. Hello? Okay, well that certainly worked.
It's Discord. Everyone has issues with Discord.
Hello?
Hey, Zephyr, how's it going?
Oh, it's going super good. How are you all?
We're doing great. You're
I'm
up
thriving.
next, because you're a VIP. So let's see. We have a sign-up thing. Where did I put it? If you could. Where did? Okay. I gotta go to my pins then. Apparently, if you just wanna fill this out and we'll put it into the coordination thing with you, Mama. If you could just fill that out quickly. We don't know who you are, but just so we have it for you, that'd be great.
Yeah, for sure. No problem.
And you'll be on as soon as Lucy's done.
Cool. I'm always excited to join you all.
I know I'm not going to be on yet, but I'll probably be gone for like 15 minutes, like at max. So if anyone needs me, I'll also have my phone with me, so just ping me.
Yep, it will probably be about 40 minutes at this point since Zephyr showed up. And Hellspawn
That's fine.
666, we're trying to keep the waiting room clear of, except for the people that are going to be on in the next couple segments.
Coordination. Trying to think of how to phrase like what I want to talk about today.
That means please hop out of the waiting room, Hellspawn 666.
Oh, I thought I was on there. I'm sorry.
Oh shit! I'm sorry, Baphomet. Did I bump you?
That sounds like you're up next. So it sounds like the D-Mom is winding down.
Okay, hold on. It's not letting me send the message in the. Sorry, I was trying to send the message.
That's fine. She's ready for you. Can I just drop you in?
Yeah, go for it.
All right. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Hello.
Uh-oh. I can't hear you at the moment.
Oh, I am now able to hear you.
Oh.
Can you hear me?
There you go. Yeah, I can hear you.
We did it.
Absolutely. Real quick, just so I'm sure, pronouns?
I use primarily it/its or like it/they.
Based. All right, I'll put it's they. There we go. Luxander, thank you so much for being here. How are you doing today?
I am doing pretty great, actually. I've been settling into my new place for about like a few weeks, almost a month now, and I finally am getting a good night's sleep. So that's great. How are you today?
I'm doing pretty good. I have a smoothie. I got all my anger out at the beginning of stream, which means I'm like vibing right now. I'm like kind of feeling good and whatever. Yeah, I had a nice little, nice but tiring holidays. You know, Infamous still goes strong. We're still celebrating Infamous. You can actually even see the tree back there. So I'm doing pretty good, all things considered. Yeah. So I'm happy to hear about your move. I feel like I remember you posting about it a little bit, but I'm glad that's all over with. Moving is ridiculously stressful. Nobody ever really talks about that, but it is. It's one of the most stressful and statistically one of the most common traumatic events. It's very strange.
Interesting. I didn't know that it was frequently traumatic. I mean, it makes sense, I guess, that you like often move in circumstances that are like rushed or like not preferable. Like being evicted or whatever probably could be fairly traumatic, but I just never thought of it that way.
Yeah, it's a common thing. As it turns out that you know, like just moving your environment in general, but also then layering on top all of the high pressure like logistics, like don't leave anything behind, don't forget anything, you got to make sure everything's in the box, you got to drive a vehicle you're unfamiliar with often, stuff like that. So yeah. People in chat are saying getting your car stolen. Okay, that's unique to me. Okay. my car got stolen when I moved. It was a disaster.
Yeah, I heard about there was a whole chase sequence, I guess.
Yeah, there was a chase that happened, and we ended up we got our car back a couple days later, but it was trashed, and we had to do a lot of repairs on it, and it took forever. So yeah, it sucked, but you know, thankfully nobody was hurt, which is good, just our poor car. But yeah, so yeah, that's basically been what I've been up to, is holiday stuff. And although I've been watching Star Wars Andor lately, and have you seen that?
I haven't. I've heard that it is like a shockingly politically astute piece of Star Wars media.
Unironically, like no questions asked. I have not praised a piece of Star Wars media in years. I am the probably, anybody who knows me IRL knows that, like, actually people even on my stream know I rant about fucking Baby Yoda all the time because it drives me crazy. But no joke, Andor is some of the best TV I've ever seen. For me personally, I put it up there with Breaking Bad. I've been thinking about it nonstop since I finished the series, and it is not just politically astute, it is relevant to everyone in this space. And I think I would recommend it to everyone. Anybody who's like interested in politics, anyone who's interested in politics and happens to be left leaning, will take a lot away from the show. It's really, really, really good.
That's cool.
So
I'll
I
have
gotta
to put
go
it on
watch
the
the show.
list.
Yes, you need to. Yeah. Is it gay? Yes, it is. In fact, one of the main characters is like, and not in, it's not Disney gay either. It's like, no, we actually just committed to this, and we're gonna have a character who's, consistently like who's gay throughout the whole series, who's not like doesn't immediately die off, is like a major part of the show. It's not like overdone. It's not weird and gazy. It's just very good. Everything about it is really good. It is a it's also one of the most stressful shows I've seen in a long time, just because it's so real. And again, I never thought I would be saying that about a Star Wars thing, but seriously, I put it up there with some of the best TV I've ever seen.
It's a relief that there is like actual, like, that they're gonna stand behind the gay thing. Like, I was so upset when I watched The Witcher, and part of it, so I just didn't like it at the end of the show anyway. Like, the little twist reveal that they did at the end of season 1, I was like, I don't really like this. But more so because everybody on Twitter had hyped it up to seem like it was super gay, and it just wasn't. Like, in fact, it was aggressively heterosexual, and I was like, oh, this sucks.
Yeah, no, there is a I don't want to spoil too much, but there is a scene in Andor that is it is simultaneously unbelievably terrifying, and also just unironically a well disguised lesbian BDSM scene. Like, it is ridiculous, the sexual energy, and that's the stuff they don't directly acknowledge. The actual, like, the character who has a gay relationship in the show, it's like it's extremely hard hitting and very it's not like the character's not there to be a commentary on gay issues or anything like that. It's very natural, and I don't know, just fantastic. I have no major problems with the show. Yeah, so none of that issue, none of that fake out shit, none of the like I'm not overhyping it. I have I've seen my fair share of what I call like Disney gay, like where it's like, oh, look at this, at the last 2 seconds of the movie in the background you can see 2 aliens that are technically, 2 guys. They're 2 guy aliens, but you can't tell anyway because they're aliens and they're just making out, and that must be gay, right? That kind of shit, I know it doesn't fly for me, but no, this show is actually unironically very good. So 2 police aliens, yeah, exactly, 2 police aliens. Yeah, you could do the Buzz Lightyear thing where it's like the gay cops or whatever. Yeah, so
Sounds like a lot of fun. I was gonna ask you, like, I basically like didn't have a huge plan for a topic to come on today, but like you just reached 20K. I just reached like 30K for the 3rd time. Let's see if we can hold on to it this time.
Damn, that's awesome.
Yeah, thank you. I've been steadily chipping away at it for like 7 years, so I guess
that's really impressive though. 30K at like 30K after having your channel take hits. That's amazing.
Yeah, frankly, I don't get noticed that much. Like, we have these issues consistently with ad revenue, and like have you read through the changes that they instituted in like November?
I have been dooming about the changes that were implemented, and also the current crackdown that's going on. I actually just did a video on the crackdown just a few days ago. But yeah, it's bad.
Usually I feel like my channel is too small to get attention, because like I feel as though I post content that should get tripped, and it just happens to not get tripped, like unless it breaks out into the I make a video about Tucker Carlson and a detransitioner, both like a double whammy, so it breaks out into the Tucker Carlson audience and the detransition audience, like people who are using them as a prop against trans people, basically. And like only occasionally I'll get enough reports, I think is what happens, and I'll get the little yellow symbol. But I feel like even more than the demonetized symbol that you get now is that like this content is going to be age restricted.
It's unbelievable. Yeah, I don't know. I have not yet come up with a solution on how to deal with this. I don't know what the answer is going to be. I don't know if it's going to be like I have to move to a model where like when I talk about certain issues, it's going to be like a Patreon thing where it's like directly shared, and that then when I talk about a big controversial political issue, that's how it's going to go. I don't know where it's going to go. I guess it depends on how aggressive they end up going with the crackdown, because it is getting pretty bad from what I hear. I was just watching a video earlier. Some channels were getting age restricted because of like violent video game footage, which is like, what? Like we're at this point again? That's where we're at, is like you play a game that has some cartoon gore in it and you're going to get your channel demonetized. Like that's messed up to me. I don't know what the answer is. It is stressful. I'll say that. I've been encouraging people to like, please get into the habit, viewers get into the habit of supporting content creators on Patreon or through their websites, because it is possible. It's a possibility in the future that like YouTube is not going to be like a solution for a living for people who are talking about any sort of serious issue.
And like for me, I don't know if I imagine that you have the same experience at this point. Like the ad revenue, like even though I don't get demonetized very often, like it's not like a huge portion of my overall income. Like most of my income,
basically nothing.
It's directly through the website, or PayPal. So it's not like having the content demonetized like hits our income overall that much. But the problem is going to be in the age restriction. And like, because that
and the
content,
algorithm, getting into the algorithm.
It doesn't, your shit doesn't show up in search. And like something that I'm particularly annoyed by with that is like, okay, they don't want teenagers to have access to like the way that they phrased it when I was reading their documentation was like, quote, sexual tips, which like that could be broad enough to include like how to put on a condom. So they don't want teenagers to have access to that. And then also if it's age restricted, they can't find it through search function when they do turn 18. Yeah. Which just seems really stupid to me. Endless
march of American puritanicalism. It is so bad and so harmful. Like I don't know what YouTube. I don't know that YouTube knows what they want. I think they just are desperately flailing to try and appease advertisers, and that means I guess we need to get rid of all even remotely like any sort of mature education topic, any sort of mature political take is just going to have to be pushed into the margins. Like I can't imagine it would be death for a lot of like actual no longer able to function for a lot of channels if they were to get age restricted and not be able to be searched in the algorithm. Like my channel has been having growth because we've finally gotten some algorithm recommendations. We're finally like my show is finally getting some recommendations in other people's channels. I can see that in my analytics that people are clicking on my video from searches, from recommendations on other videos. That's great. But if that was to disappear, it would mean like I don't even know what it would mean for most content creators. I don't know what most especially political content creators, how they would even like how would you be able to market your channel if you can't get recommended in the algorithm because the topic that you talk about is deemed as unfit for a 5-year-old and therefore unfit for all of YouTube. It's just, I don't know. It's grim.
I would really like to see a tiered system. Like I would love to see like a teen rating or something along those lines where like some amount of cursing is acceptable, like some amount of like gore or whatever is acceptable. Like in the same way that you have the T rating on like video games so that a certain amount of like
young adult, mature, and then like AO or whatever. Although, oh God, I don't even know. I mean, I think I would prefer that to whatever's going on right now. Like whenever you upload a video, you just need to put like a rating on it, and you can put like teen, E for everyone, T for teen, M for mature. Yeah, go ahead and do that. But I don't know. I feel like that like anything that requires YouTube to do any sort of restructuring is going to get immediately shot down, and that sucks. But I sure hope we can hope for the best. There is also I was just watching last night. There's like a pretty major lawsuit being levied against Google and specifically against Google owns YouTube, but it's about YouTube and it's about the curation algorithm. It's a lawsuit that is around Section 230. But instead of the usual angle that you expect around Section 230, which is like a conservative being like, Section 230 needs to be abolished. Instead, it's saying that Section 230, that YouTube is actually out of the spirit of the law in Section 230 because using a algorithm to curate recommendations does mean some level, you are taking some level of publisher stance. And I would be interested to see what would happen if that ruling goes out of the favor of YouTube. If they determine that, yes, actually algorithms do count as a form of meaningful curation, how that would change the algorithm on YouTube. And maybe it would mean that the algorithm would have to be scaled back, and therefore, maybe that might actually be a good thing in the long run. I don't know. It's really hard to say. But yeah, it's a rough topic. It's a rough thing to have to deal with, and it's especially bad for a lot of for a lot of channels that are like, I mean, it's going to hit channels that are we've seen this before with YouTube being actively hostile to LGBT content by categorizing all LGBT content as inherently sexual. That means that it is inherently by their standards not not child friendly or whatever, which just means there's a direct bias against the entire LGBT community. And that I'm not looking forward to that sort of thing, but I sure hope that it stays away, but I don't have much faith that it will.
Yeah, we're definitely going to have to, like, whether we stay on YouTube as a platform or not. Like, someone in my chat said, Vosh sent me to Zan to Demon Mama, and then to Luxander. Like, I think that just doing more collaboration is going to ultimately be what is most beneficial. Like, I think that we all ought to have been doing it more anyway. Like, I think everybody's so terrified of being
and cross promotion.
Cross promotion, yeah. I feel like people are so worried about like being caught up in some cancellation by affiliation, and that is something that prevents this. But like, I don't care about that anymore.
Yeah. I ranted about that at the beginning of my stream. I don't know if you were here for it, but I was yelling about the latest cycle of discourse and how it's produced nothing but strife. It has only alienated sections of the left from each other in a pretty serious manner. It makes it hard. I mean, I think there's always going to be issues with like factions not liking each other or whatever. But I also think that I think that lefties should be more aggressive with reacting to one another's stuff. Streamers have to spend a lot of time on stream by the nature of the industry. We should react to and promote each other's stuff that way. One of the reasons why I've been doing more react segments where I react to like another content creator's video is because I can immediately do a call to action afterwards to say, hey, imps, go on over, show some love if you liked watching this video. One of them recently was a Jack Saint video, and that ended up being great. Both times both times I've done this recently, I received very, very positive feedback from the creator themselves and from the people that I was watching with. People in my audience love to see this content that they hadn't seen before, and the creators who made that content were happy to see my fans show up. So I think that lefties should, in the general left, all across the board, whichever faction you belong to, should embrace a little more reactception, being willing to react to one another's videos as a segment on stream. Also because every single major YouTube figure has been pointing out the fact that reacts are like react content is like some of the highest weighted in the algorithm right now. It is mutually beneficial for channels to react to one another's content. If you react to a large channel, that channel benefits, and so does the small channel. So it's a very good thing to do in the algorithm, and I think it's one way that that can be a step in the right direction. I know that a lot of people are, often a little reluctant to organize explicit collabs, and there's a lot of tension and drama and whatever. But reacting to videos is a way to start taking a step in the right direction that doesn't require a whole lot of effort.
Yeah, we're all already doing that. It's just like we're just reacting to conservative content as opposed to each other's.
Yeah, and there's nothing. I mean, I think obviously a healthy heaping of making fun of conservatives is always good, but spending too much time reacting to conservative content is actually not necessarily 100% beneficial, and it would be better, I think, if people reacted to like a Jose video about PragerU or whatever, than or a Timba on Toast video about Project Veritas or whatever, than actually just reacting to the conservative stuff. But yeah.
And I know I can personally attest to enjoying some reactception. Like,
Yeah, I like that shit.
I know you like it came up in stream recently when I was in chat on like while you were streaming. The debacle last year. Like I rewatch frequently, like frequently every couple of months, just because it comes back across my timeline on YouTube for whatever reason. Both the video where Vosh responds to the RGR versus Doe debate and the conversation afterwards, and your 8-hour live stream. I usually watch yours next, like the 8-hour live stream of you like reacting to both of those things. Like I guess it wasn't necessarily reactception because you didn't cover him covering the debate, since that would have just been unnecessarily time consuming.
But I did cover him debating with RGR. And boy, listen, I went and revisited that saga as well. It is really weird that stuff gets fed. Like I get fed the RGR stuff again every couple months as well. It keeps cycling back. That must have been a magical moment in the eyes of YouTube, because it just keeps coming back. But I will say it was the only pleasure that I have gotten out of that entire situation has been going back and watching that debate again. Yeah.
I mean,
So.
it is like strangely fascinating somehow. I'm not like clearly I watch it when it gets recommended to me. So like there's something about it.
It's like a I don't know, it's like going to the zoo, but it's a zoo for like gaslighting and emotional manipulation, and you can like just sit behind the glass and observe it now that it's already done. Like obviously like there are aspects of it that still make me mad to this day, but like it's done, it's gone. That was a loss for every person who'd been making my life horrible up to that point. And so it's a little satisfying to go to the zoo and witness the gaslighting and manipulation in real time. Yeah.
It was a trip. Like there's just a couple of moments in it where you're like, oh my God, I can't believe she just said that. Someone in my chat asked, has RGR ever recovered? Not really. In fact, Mama, did you see the news a couple of months back about like there was some person who was on the board of the same LGBT like organization that she is on, and they
Yes, I did.
Yeah, like they quit.
Yeah, it fell apart. Yeah, no, I highly doubt. Let's just say I'm glad that there's been no recovery on that front, because there is no recovery deserved. I said recently there was an interesting drama that had some similarities. The DJ Mule stuff. And I went pretty hard on DJ Mule, and I said that I think that he should not make content, that he should step away from this line of work. And that's how I feel about RGR as well. And she has. So I guess good on her for that. It's not the line of work for somebody that dishonest and manipulative. So
yeah, it's going to be unfortunate when she tries to run for president or whatever the fuck she's going to do, though. That's going to be sad.
Yeah, well, we'll see. Having witnessed, how do I put this? There are highly manipulative people that can have great levels of success, and then there are also people who attempt to be highly manipulative, but their own stupidity and pride prevents them from ever actually having success at that thing. And I think I mean, like I said just a few seconds ago, I do think RGR falls on the second half of that equation. The people who are highly manipulative, highly cynical and Machiavellian, but totally incapable of, like, I don't know, keeping it in check for long enough to actually accomplish anything. So I don't think we'll ever see a presidential run, but maybe. Yeah, maybe as a Republican too.
Yeah, honestly, like, I mean, can you imagine her going any other way? Like, she's gonna end up being one of those, we need to reform, like, we need to get the log cabin Republicans back into the RNC and shit like that.
20 years from now, when we have the new two parties of America, after the Republicans dissolve and the Democrats fall out, we'll have the Christian Nationalist Party, and we'll have the corporatist party. And then she can take her choice from there and decide whether she wants to join the Christian Nationalists or the heavy corporatists.
What a glorious day it will be.
It will certainly be an interesting struggle wherever we're going. I'm looking forward to getting to watch the continued I don't even know twisted decline of this country as it gets even more clownish. But yeah. We are about at the time. Did you have any other topics you wanted to discuss? We can go a little longer if you have anything specific you want to bring up. If not, I just wanted to thank you for coming on and being here, because it was really, really kind of you to come by and say hello.
Yeah, I always appreciate you having me on. Like, also, like, I have just repeatedly asked you random questions on Twitter, and you always are super nice and just helpful, and like, I really appreciate that.
I'm not always the best about answering my DMs, especially on Twitter, because fuck Twitter, in short. But yeah, well, if I can ever be of help, let me know. I always try to do my best. But you've always been very kind to me, and I, of course, again, I appreciate you coming by today and getting to talk about this stuff with you.
Yeah, I'm sure I'll hit you up sometime on Twitter again. I'll get out of here though, because I kicked Baphomet down the queue earlier. So.
Oh well, we have a system in place, so blame it on the system.
I mean, I'll blame it on Baphomet because it was their fault. They were like, "Oh, you should join the queue," and then I was like, "Oh, I'm a VIP, so I guess I just get to go first."
Yeah, well, that's why we got the VIPs. Sorry, everybody. The only hierarchy we have here is people's time, and unfortunately, no offense to my lovely chatters, I know many of you do many different things in your life. I'm not saying you don't touch grass or anything, but streamers and content creators have a little bit more restrictive schedules than most chatters, so we just try to do that. All right, there we go. Nobody cry about it. If you cry about it, I'll just ignore you. Yeah, anyway, well, thank you for coming by, and we will talk again, I am very sure, in the future.
For sure. Have a good rest of your stream, Demon Mama. Congratulations on 20K, and have a good rest of your night.
Thank you, and congratulations on 30K. Bye for now.
Woo, bye. All right. That was enjoyable. I rarely just like am like in a good mood throughout an entire conversation, and that was a pretty good one, I will say. Good luck, Baphomet. Oh my gosh, DM blaming systems. I know. How dare. What if she was the less bad candidate? Oh god, that would be even worse, Spider. Hey, Grady HD, the algorithm stopped showing me Lux for a while. Glad this convo happened to remind me to stop over to your stream. Welcome back in. You can always hit the YouTube bell if you want to get notifications when I go live. More reliably, however, you could come in to the Discord, ! Discord in the website chat, and join us over there and get notifications whenever we stream. And I also post links in there whenever I post videos. So there's that. I like the plants so much better than the blank wall. Thank you, James. I wasn't planning on keeping it a blank wall. I just hadn't figured out what exactly I was going to do with it. Yes, join the Discord. Do it. Do it, do it, do it, do it, do it, do it, do it. Okay, I'm going to... Hey, Bluestone. First time in chat and never knew you were a content creator. Oh, did you see me in chat somewhere else and you didn't realize that I was like a content creator? Let me take Demon Mama out of the title here so that people don't expect that when they come in. Oh, Vosh's chat. Yeah. Do I still have the special color in Vosh's chat? I know that he was bitching at some point about the fact that too many people had the special colors in the chat. Hello. Deegan the Mighty in the chat. The plants are nice. I also love the mom quilt in the frame a lot. Yeah, it makes me happy. It makes me very happy. I didn't want this background to be as busy as the background before, but this is, I think, an acceptable level of junk in the background, Let's see. There's one way to find out if you have the special color. I know... Vosh chat is always going, isn't that? Like, my website chat also has the feature of constantly going, even when I'm not online. But it's weird to just go to to just go over to the website chat and like type up some random bullshit in someone else's stream chat while they're offline or even while they're online. Slimy yet satisfying. That's true. I should watch The Lion King sometime. Again, I haven't watched it in a long time. I haven't watched Lion King 1.5 in an even longer time. Yeah, you guys can do offline chat. Yeah. And hello, Venusian Blavet. It's like walking into a room and farting. Yeah, it is a little bit like that. First Italian restaurant type streamer. Did I do this? And that was the why you're making an Italian reference? I've never watched The Lion King. You should watch The Lion King. It's the circle of life. The Plants? Is this Italian? Is this like an Italian restaurant? Grandma Olive Garden stream. You're roasting me about my background looking like Olive Garden. I can't believe this is happening. I thought that it looked nice and that it was going to dampen the sound. How dare you? It's not a roast. How is it not a roast? Olive Garden is notorious. Like, every time anything is compared to Olive Garden, it's just obviously, it's not like a good thing. The quilt looks like something my grandma had. It was made by someone who is a grandma. This is true. The other side is like way different. I like this side best. Olive Garden is an American institution. Yeah, you go to the Olive Garden after your baseball game. It's cozy. It is cozy. And I chose the background color so that it would be nice and cozy because we got lights. You know, we could make them, let's make them green. Hold on. Yeah, that's what green looks like. Or blue. Bitches love blue. Different blue. Bitches love other blue. What about this blue? The only thing I like at Olive Garden is chicken parm. Ooh, chicken parm. Ooh, so real quick. Okay, so first of all, if you haven't hit like on the stream, hit like, because at some point in the near future, we're probably going to talk about some actual news, because we haven't talked about any actual news in like 5 streams or some shit like that. So hit like on the stream. Get yourself a drink of water. Okay? I'm going to switch this back to the orange, though, because I like that better. Thank you. Yeah, I'm going to refill my water, and you should do that too. So I'll be back momentarily. Thank you. I'm also going to pull some chicken out of the freezer so that I can eat food later. Okay, I'm back. Did you hit the like button? Did you drink water? Holy shit, we lost like 10 people. Bitches do love blue. I'm having a nice cup of cannabis coffee. Ooh, that sounds interesting. Does it taste super funky? Does it seem like it tastes super funky? I have some water. You should drink some of the water. Yes, you must hit the like button. Get you some lemon water. And then try to brush your teeth more often, because the lemon is definitely going to corrode your teeth. But so can coffee. I'm not really trying to drink less coffee. That's not true. I drink exactly the same amount of coffee every day, except when my tummy doesn't want to deal with the acid. The cool thing about being on decaf is that I can just not drink coffee sometimes. And it doesn't hurt me. Like, there's no headache. A perfect balance, the cannabis coffee. Okay. Do you put milk and sugar in your cannabis coffee, or do you just drink it like black? Eating an MRE chicken chunk meal. My familiarity with MREs is about to the extent of like watching YouTubers like make them and try them out and declare which one tastes the best. I generally get the impression that it's not grand. My dinners lately are like, I will take the entire frozen bag of Brussels sprouts, cook it in the oven, and then eat all of it. Or, like, I will cook a single chicken breast. Actually, recently, so here's something I did recently. I tried to do the entire bag of Brussels sprouts, but then I got full. So there was, like, some Brussels sprouts left over, and I just stuck them in the fridge. I was like, I'm not going to throw these away. I'm just going to bag them up and put them in the fridge. And then, later on, I wanted to make, like, you know, someone mentioned chicken parm. I wanted to make something like that, So I cooked the chicken breast, like I browned the outside of the chicken breast, and then I put that in the oven tray thing, like the container that I was gonna put it in the oven, like a bunch of like cheese, sour cream, and cream cheese. I like mixed all that up, put that in there, and I put the Brussels sprouts in there, like underneath all that cheese stuff, and then I stuck that in the oven, and it was delicious. It was a nice little cheesy, fatty meal of chicken and like a few leftover bits of Brussels sprouts. Yummy, yummy, yummy. Yeah, cream and sugar. It's a filter coffee, 10% THC. Okay. Fascinating. I live in a state where it's still illegal. I mostly enjoy my water filtered through coffee grinds. I feel like one should try to have more water in their day than coffee. Like if you drink like a vessel of coffee, or like, where am I at today? I drank 2 of these of coffee. I feel like I should drink at least that same amount of water. That's like an objective that I have. So coffee is not dehydrating. Sugar can be somewhat dehydrating, but coffee is not dehydrating in and of itself. It is a diuretic, which means that it can initiate you feeling like you need to pee, but it is not directly dehydrating, if I remember correctly. Like, it's not like if you drink a bunch of soy sauce, that's dehydrating. Coffee is not going to dehydrate you, but it's a diuretic for sure. Whoa, but if you're going to say coffee is dehydrating, you would also have to say Spiro is dehydrating, you know? Do not drink soy sauce, it will literally kill you. Yeah, don't do that. Soy sauce is largely salt. That's what I'm saying. Yeah. I drink plenty of water. My mom got me into it young. I really want to drink water more now that I do lemon water all the time. Yeah. Guzzles a gallon of soy sauce. No. Not allowed. How dare you. No drinking a gallon of soy sauce. I've been on a potato kick since I'm broke. $3 bag will let me bake so many fries to have with a Sammy. So the potatoes that I buy like these potatoes that usually cost $4 for the whole bag, and now they're $6 for a whole bag, and it sucks. And I also went to use one of them recently, and it was like all wrinkly and soft and shit. I was like, this is the first potato I've pulled out of this bag. That's very annoying. I used to drink soy sauce when I was younger. I feel like if you just have like one of these like packets, you know, one of these like to-go packets of soy sauce, and you drank that would probably be an acceptable amount of soy sauce, right? But there could also be like a threshold there. Yeah, Deegan in the YouTube chat says, someone once tried a soy sauce cleanse. There's a YouTube video about it, and you should not watch it if medical emergencies and death aren't your thing. I've recently realized that I really don't appreciate graphic descriptions of health problems. It's not like I was ever a huge fan, but I have a very, very active physical reaction now. Now I want a baked potato. That would be yummy. I pulled out some chicken breast from the freezer. So I'm going to cook that later. What's up, Speedy Shimeji? I want a twice baked potato. Twice baked. I can't remember if I've ever had one. I know what the premise of a twice baked potato is. Like, you take the potato, you bake it partway, and then you pull out the potato and you like mash that up and like mix it with other stuff, and then you like pipe it back into the potato, or just slop it back into the potato, I guess, and then finish baking it, right? Oh, wait, soy is real? Are you for real, Venusian Bleve? Did you think that soy was not real? Soy is a bean. It is a bean, and it grows everywhere. If you live in the Midwest, you know you're not for real. I mean, Venusian, you do have a lot of very strange questions in the chat sometimes, so you can't blame me for needing to double check. They call this the soy boy cleanse. Pulls cap off of soy boy bottle or soy sauce bottle and starts chugging. No, it's the soy boy cleanse is what H Bomber guy did when he poured a bunch of soy milk on him. Do you all remember that one? What video was that? It was a long time ago. Soy enema. Other end. Oh no. I finally got around to watching H-Bomb's most recent video, the 2-hour-long Roblox oof video. It's a trip. Poor guy. He was trying to make a 20-minute video, and it ended up being a 2-hour video. Oh, poor guy. I am 100% soy, actually, so I never need to cleanse. True. Oh, gosh. We have some news if we want to be enheartened. Okay. Oh, this is cool. Yeah. I was kind of thinking about doing serious news today, but I am also having an enjoyable time not having a serious news conversation, so... And we're going to be doing like a very serious debate conversation thing on Saturday night, so you know what I mean. South Carolina Supreme Court strikes down anti-abortion law. State law banning a state law which would be banning the procedure at roughly 6 weeks is, quote, unreasonable and unconstitutional, according to a, quote, monumental ruling hailed by Southern abortion rights activists. This is good news. I can't read the rest of this article from The Independent because I'm not going to register. But that's good. And so I guess it's worth pointing out, just in the first paragraph, it says that it is predicating this ruling on the same reason that Roe v. Wade had originally, which is the right to privacy, which means that this is not going to hold up if it gets appealed. Like, this is the South Carolina Supreme Court. So not to be a bummer or anything, but if they're predicating this on the right to privacy, the Supreme Court of the United States of America has already recently determined that there is no right to privacy implied in the 14th Amendment. So, that sucks. Anyway. Yeah, I did just watch... Yeah, I watched the oof video. Wait, what's the debate thing? So on Saturday night... Can't you get around paywalls with incognito? It doesn't always work. We're going to have a conversation on Saturday on the subject of whether or not there is a trans genocide occurring in the United States or in like Western countries, I guess. Like, it's a fact that trans people have better mental health outcomes once they are socially affirmed and medically affirmed, like once they can seek medical transition, right? And if it's a fact that they're more likely to kill themselves if they don't have access to that care, and the state steps in to make it illegal for them to access that care, then the state is taking actions that are known to reduce numbers within the group. Like, it's known to cause unlivable conditions within the group, and therefore the actions are genocidal. So we're going to be having a conversation with a bunch of other trans people on that topic. One of them is Rose Mullet. Are we familiar with Rose Mullet in the chat? I know that some of you are not familiar with Rose Mullet, but she's a 22-year-old who still lives at home and has some ridiculous opinions. I probably could have gotten her removed from the panel if I had told the guy who organized it, like, this person is gonna fuck up the whole thing. But I deliberately was like, no, it'll be more fun if she's on this. Like... Okay, so my criticism about her still living at home is primarily that she, like, still thinks and acts like a child, basically. That's like what my main issue is that with it. And she was like, hey, my family got hit by the recession too. We had to buy only one Tesla instead of two of them. And we didn't get to build the swimming pool in our backyard that we were planning on building. Like, this is the level of engagement that we're going to expect here. Yeah, it's content. I made you some content. Daddy made you your favorite open wide. Get some bangers ready to tear her down. It's got to be freeform. I'm not going to prepare anything. It's got to be freeform. It's got to be freeform. Listen. I deliberately, I think she's going to be fun to have on this. I think she's going to try to derail it. Like, I think she's going to bring up neo-pronouns and shit. Like, it's going to be... She's not the only person who disagrees with me, though. Trans people do each deserve their own swimming pools, but that's another issue. Damn, true. If it weren't for the fact that I have recently just decided that I don't care about how people think about me, I guess, like, I haven't been swimming in a long time, and I want to go swimming, and I'm comfortable enough with my body to go swimming now. Oh, geez, Bluestone. I'm sorry your shoulder's fucked up. You're right, Mersh. That's like one of the funniest things about Elon Musk is that his shitty behavior on Twitter is leading to declining stocks in Teslas. And it's not just his behavior on Twitter, but it's also like his... the cars are frequently malfunctioning. It gets terrifying. I heard one like... Oh, what was it? Like, really, really recently, a family of 4, like... The Tesla... Here it is. The Tesla plunged the family... Well, it says Tesla driver who plunged his family. Like, okay, he did it on purpose, supposedly. And it wasn't an instance of the fucking autopilot, like, driving them off of a cliff. I guess he did it on purpose. The driver, his wife, and their 2 children were rescued after going over the 250-foot cliff in San Mateo County. The driver will be booked on attempted murder counts. Like, how do you determine whether the autopilot was engaged or not? You know? He failed spectacularly, though, because, like, the very first news that I saw about this was like, oh, Tesla drove off a cliff and the parents had minor injuries, but the children were totally 100% fine. Like, I guess that's a hell of an advertisement for your car, that it went off of a cliff 250 to 300 feet down. And like, nobody was hurt. We were actually very shocked when we found survivable victims in the vehicle. So that actually was a hopeful moment for us. Good fucking job, I guess, on the chassis. I'll give it that. Bo, are you talking about Bo of the Fifth Column? Had a video on Elon losing more money than any single person in history. I don't know. I've seen his videos come on the timeline, but I haven't actually watched yet. The stock has been overvalued for a while, even if they were good cars, which they aren't. I do think they were really overinflated. Like, it's a cool concept and everything, but I mean, I think that everything is kind of too expensive, though. Like, I'm a poor person. I don't know that like $3,000 for one singular item is too expensive. Like, if I needed a car right now and $3,000 was what I needed for the car, I would be like, oh my God, that's expensive. So maybe I'm just not the person to ask. Maybe I just need to restructure my expectations. Oh gosh. The car's computer can actually tell you if the autopilot was on or off at a certain time. That's why Tesla will turn their autopilot off milliseconds before a crash if they detect one is going to happen. Is that true? Oh my God. That's so fucked up. Hello, Baphomet. Welcome back. Did you enjoy talking to Demon Mama? Yeah? Conversation was good? Nerve-wracking, but good. I guess, like, now that I'm a streamer, now that I'm a big boy streamer with my own website and everything, I just don't get nervous. I'm like, oh, I'm gonna go on Demon Mama stream and I don't even have a topic, but we're just gonna talk for like half an hour. That's gonna be great. Question, would you argue that laws which enable police brutality, which primarily affects minority groups, are a form of genocide? Yeah, so Venusian, I actually think after looking at, kind of like after looking more closely at the definition of genocide, that the United States is currently engaged in like multiple different genocides. Like if you just literally look at the actual definition of what the fucking word means, like according to the UN, according to various sociologists, like Black people are subject to genocide in this country. Mexican American immigrants especially are subject to genocide in this country in similar ways. Like Native American people still consistently subject to genocide in the United States. Like if you're just looking at like you understand and know structurally that these things are causing poor outcomes, like people are starving, lack of access to services, like whatever it is. If you're doing things that make it harder for people to live, like making life unlivable for them, like worsening their conditions to the point where you reduce effective numbers in the group, yeah, for sure. Yeah, genocide is a multi-step system for sure. Hello, Danny. Welcome in. There is no war in Bossing Say. Yeah, systemic racism against racial minorities, I think qualifies as genocidal for sure. Like, I think that ultimately when we have this conversation this weekend about the genocide question, I think that we are all going to agree that actions are being taken in an attempt to reduce numbers in the group, except for Rose, probably except for Rose. The other people who are more reasonable on the panel, I think will agree with me. Like if I were to change the language that I use to talk about this, and if I were to say this is a deliberate eradication campaign or something along those lines, like if I were to use different language aside from the actual word genocide, like if I just used more words to say the exact same thing, these people are probably going to agree with me that that is what's happening. It's just that the legal interpretation of the term genocide has been interpreted in different ways, and that's very irritating. Uncle Iroh is my model for masculinity. I love Uncle Iroh. Okay, listen. Take a break for sure, Baphomet. Yeah, no worries. I'm trying to decide whether I want to move into a serious topic. I guess like we should probably talk about some amount of news just because we need to get content rolling on the channel again here. In this January New Year, we need content. I have so many tabs. I have so many windows. It's not so much that I have so many tabs is the problem right now. It's that I have so many windows. Too many windows. Burp. All right. Just about ready to talk about a news. People just think of World War II when they hear genocide, when in reality it's not usually that extreme. Yeah. Like, and I mean, the thing is too that like both of the word genocide, I mean, the word genocide was coined after that, like around that time. So that was the first time we ever used that word to describe some action. But like also the word Holocaust doesn't just mean the Jewish the German eradication of Jews in Nazi Germany. Like Holocaust is also just a word that generally means like a really horrible fucked up thing that happens. But yeah, so I'm hoping that it's fun. I'm kind of hoping that Rose is disruptive enough on the panel that derails things and makes it into a shit show, because I think that would be the most fun. But it's like not something. It's like it's gonna be fun and a shit show, but not because I made it that way. My initial reaction was that the term genocide could be seen as exaggerating, but thinking more about it, it seems awful to call the state-enforced deaths of actual people, quote, not really a big deal. Right. Yeah, Dark Canuck, I was not saying that I would use the term Holocaust to describe the current situation. I was just saying, as an example, the word Holocaust existed, I think, before the Holocaust, and it's weird that it's like got that association and it's like only referring to the World War II shit. That's all I'm saying. But yeah, like Venusian, like I was saying, like even if you are gonna balk at the term genocide being used, even if it's strictly on a people won't listen to you if you use this word kind of way, then like, okay, I guess if it makes you think that I'll listen or that people will listen more, then I will switch to saying something like the United States is deliberately trying to reduce the number of trans people. Like, I mean, that makes it sound less serious than it is. But like, that is the appeal that I'm making to the definition of genocide, is that like, yeah, you're trying to indirectly kill us. Like, the medical system in the US is used as a weapon. I mean, that's true. Is used to ruin people financially to, quote, keep them in their place. Also, it used to kill off those that society doesn't like by denying them care, often on religious grounds. Also, it is used. Yeah, that's true. I thought you were saying that in the past tense, and I was like, nope, it still happens today. Do you know about the systemic racism against Asian people in the US? If not, I can inform you about them. I just worry in leftist spaces that no one talks about Asian people. I feel like we are forgotten. Yeah, with Otro, I would say that because Asian people generally, we think of that as being like a benevolent racism. Because it's like, oh, Asian people are smart. Asian people have high-paying jobs. Like those are sort of the stereotypes that we have about Asians in the United States. Obviously not unilaterally true. And I imagine that anti-Asian racism has increased since COVID. So the past 3 years have probably just increased anti-foreigner sentiment in general. Oh, we're talking about philosophy. I made a Reddit account. Like, I have made Reddit accounts before, but I decided to make a new one, and it's going to be the official Luxander Reddit account. Someday, I feel like that's another one of those big milestones. Is someday is there going to be a Luxander subreddit? Because, like, doesn't Demon Mama have a subreddit? Yeah, like, Demon Mama has a subreddit. And Vosh has a subreddit. How do I get a subreddit? Is this something that people have to make? Like, is this something that, like, I can make myself? Or do people have to, in the community, make it? I really don't know how Reddit works. But we're talking about philosophy. I made a Reddit account. They're related sentences, Venusian, because I loaded it up and it was like, hey, tell me a million things that you're interested in. Like, and I was like, okay, here are all of the different things that I want to like hear about on my Reddit feed, like foraging, hiking, fucking tech, fucking politics, fucking news, and philosophy was one of those ones. I was like, hell yeah, it's gonna be bad, I'm sure, but I'll follow r/philosophy. That sounds great. Can't you just make one? I guess I could just make one. Is that something that people would want? I don't know. Yeah, it's for sure. I can see it being harmful. Philin says, as an Asian person, it feels really invalidating being told that Asian people are smart because it's already kind of expected. So your intelligence means nothing. Like, yeah, it's not as though any other group. I mean, yeah, like certain groups are considered dumb, compared to like white people, I guess. I don't have Reddit anymore. Yeah, no worries. I think the main place for community for us is going to be in the Discord. Yes, the Discord. Click on it. Oh gosh. I keep chugging through the water. It's crazy. Okay. I have a notion on the Vosh Twitter thing. Really. So recently, okay, we're going to try to ease into this because apparently I don't know how to do news anymore. I took a couple of weeks off of doing news coverage because, like, not only have I been moving, but I also it was the holidays, and I don't want to talk about news the day after Christmas or whatever. Like, that's not the goal, is to be stressed out throughout the entire winter season. But it's good to get back into it because we were consistently talking about how we have these bills popping up across the country that are attempting to limit the rights of trans people to access medical care. It's been like an ongoing conversation for a while. I've spoken at length about why that is harmful specifically. We can always, rehash those things in the comments if needed. But we have another one coming up, and this is getting to be a little bit egregious, frankly. This is getting to be it's a little bit overreach as far as government, like, overreach into your private shit, right? Because Oklahoma seeks to ban gender-affirming care under the age of 26. So you could be a legal adult for like 7 years before you can take hormones. Or like when they say gender-affirming care, also like we would have to look at the details to find out what that means. Does that mean therapy? Could gender affirming care be therapy? If your therapist says, yeah, we should try dressing differently and trying a new name, like, is that going to be considered gender affirming care? And then that therapist gets arrested, So let's look into this a little bit. The Oklahoma Senate bill filed late Wednesday would prevent a person under the age of 26 from accessing gender affirming health care. This is the latest sign that conservatives are seeking to block the procedure for not only children, but people well into adulthood. The bill, filed ahead of the legislature's February start, would bar healthcare providers in Oklahoma from administering or recommending gender-affirming medical care, including puberty blockers, hormones, and surgeries for patients younger than 26 years old, punishable by an unclassified felony conviction and the possible revocation of their medical license for, quote, unprofessional conduct. So this is a little bit, I think, stronger than a lot of the other laws that we've seen, because usually we see this as, first of all, like not only is it stronger in terms of the ages that it's applying to, but it's also stronger in the sense that this is a criminal offense. I think that, such as in places like Florida, when they've been changing their rulings, like, I think that the main issue here is that they would lose funding or that they would perhaps have their medical license revoked. But like the felony conviction certainly raises this to a greater status, I think. Right, puberty blockers. And there, of course, I'm sure that they're going to carve out exceptions. Like, you are allowed to do puberty blockers for precocious puberty, and you're allowed to do surgeries on non-consenting babies in order to, quote, normalize them. I'm sure that that's going to be the case. So the measure would also prohibit public funds from being used to either directly or indirectly provide gender-affirming healthcare to an individual younger than 26, and would bar the state Medicaid program from covering procedures related to a person's gender transition. So snuck in there, let's not pretend like this is not so probably a lot of trans people across this country are on Medicaid, because Medicaid is the state insurance for poor people. So a lot of trans people are underemployed, underhoused, and they use the state Medicaid program, unless you live in a place like where I live, where it's not been expanded and you can't get Medicaid unless you can go through the whole fucking disability process. Anyway, but so anyone for your entire life, for the entirety of your life, if you're on Medicaid, you can't get transition care through your insurance. Like, you would have to have private insurance or pay for it outright. So moving forward, legislation being introduced by Oklahoma GOP State Senator David Bullard, who last year authored a new state law that prohibits trans youth from using school restrooms or locker rooms consistent with their gender identity. The ACLU has filed a lawsuit on behalf of 3 trans students against that law. So I'm guessing that law passed, which means that this one's probably going to pass. The bill filed Wednesday is titled the Millstone Act of 2023, which is a reference to a Bible passage that a person would be better off tying a large boulder around their neck to be, quote, drowned in the depths of the sea than to harm a child. Oh my God. Like, I didn't realize the martyr complex that's hidden inside there. Like, we would rather be drowned in the depths of the sea than harm a child, and we're going to name this law after that. It's like, get your goddamn Bible out of my life. Like, do we need to pull up the video of the lady at the news desk who like absolutely pops off? She's like, stop like trying to legislate my body with your religion. Like, I'm not a religious person, and better, like, more power to you. You don't need to get an abortion or whatever, then don't. But stop trying to make everybody else follow your stupid religion. Like, religious people are fine if they keep it to themselves. Like, it's like, I'm sure you're proud of your religion, much like many people are proud of their penises. But much like a penis, I don't really want you to whip it out in public, wave it around in my face. And especially, I don't want you to try to shove it down my throat. Like, in public anyway. If we don't have equal rights and we can't get government medical care, why should we pay taxes? True. Like, what is the point of paying taxes if our services are not being paid for? And certainly, why are we paying taxes to support religious laws and bigotry? Oh my God. So, let's see what else there is in here. The reference was first made in April when conservative pastor Jackson Lamere, who earlier this year tried unsuccessfully to unseat Senator James Lankford, pledged during an interview with the far-right news network Real America's Voice to introduce his own, quote, Millstone Act that would cut off funding to, quote, any school district in America that teaches critical race theory or woke sexuality. Oh my God, the critical race theory shit. I keep forgetting that they truly want to pretend like there is no racism problem in this country. They just want to pretend like that was never a thing. With Bullard's proposal, Oklahoma joins nearly a dozen other states seeking to heavily restrict or ban access to gender-affirming healthcare for trans youth and adults in 2023. Another Oklahoma bill filed in December aims to bar physicians from providing, quote, gender transition procedures to patients younger than 21 years, punishable by a fine and up to a decade in prison. Excuse me. So they don't even, they have multiple laws. This is the weird thing is that they keep, like, it'll be several different laws. I guess they think, oh, if we can't get this one to pass, then we'll get a different one to pass. If the Millstone Act that they're talking about here doesn't pass, then they have a separate bill which will target younger than 21. Like, if the age 26 is too high for the voters for the representatives to vote for. Jesus Christ. So yeah, like, they consistently are overreaching, I think. Like, all available medical evidence and every major medical organization agrees that transition is the way to treat gender dysphoria. Watch and wait treatment is just an attempt at conversion therapy. You're just hoping that they grow out of it, but that's usually not what happens. That usually it just comes back up at some point later in their lives because it's persistent. And this is like a new way that I've thought of to explain this that I maybe would make things a little bit easier for people to understand. Like, trans people are functionally just allergic to our natural hormones in the same way that some people are allergic to their own sweat. Like, I don't know if you've ever heard of that before. It sounds weird because it is a little bit strange. Like, there are people who are allergic to their own sweat. So, that like presents, it's like a skin reaction. It's not like they have anaphylactic, like they choke and can't breathe or whatever, but like they get a rash whenever they sweat. And trans people basically like have like a really negative biological reaction to being subject to these hormones. And like we frequently notice a fairly immediate change when we start the correct hormones that ends up resolving a lot of these issues. People think like, oh, we need to address your depression first. Like the depression is a result of the gender dysphoria. That's not the primary issue, right? And the other thing that I want to get out there before we wrap up the segment is like, those of you who think, oh, these kids need to be kids. They need to have fun. They need to focus on their schoolwork. They need to do these extracurricular activities and everything. Like frequently trans people who come out as adults, like they did not do well in school, especially if they knew that they were trans at the time and like had a specific environment where they were being told to wait, because you're dealing with a situation where your body is constantly like, you're just trapped in a situation where you're deeply like reacting badly. Like you're distressed by it to some degree. It's not a fun, happy time. It keeps you from being able to have fun. It keeps you from being able to accomplish your schoolwork. Like we don't perform well in school or work when we're denied social transition, basically. At the very minimum, social transition, if not medical transition. So it's not like good for the kids to make them wait. If you want them to wait, puberty blockers are an option. You can't stay on them forever because it will cause damage to your bones. But like, if you want them, like put them on puberty blockers at age 12, and by the time they're 14, if they're still trans, then put them on hormones and let them grow up at the same pace as the rest of their peers. That is the reasonable thing to do. That is the medically understood, like correct way to approach this. If you stick a gender dysphoric kid in therapy, the therapist is going to maybe work with them for a couple months and then be like, well, it kind of seems like, I can give you strategies to help you deal with your dysphoria, but you're always going to have the dysphoria until you get the medical care that you need. I am not a medical doctor. Like, like they can, if needed, coordinate with a medical doctor and say like, yeah, we've been doing therapy for a while and it's pretty clear to me that, yeah, the depression and other stuff is basically being caused by the gender dysphoria, which again, I can give you strategies to deal with it, but it's always going to be there. And I don't know why you want, like, is the outcome that these people want for like people to be aware that they have gender issues, but to constantly police and just manage their gender issues? Like, just is the goal for these people that they just want us to manage our dysphoria by distracting ourselves and stuff? But like that's why you end up with a huge amount of substance abuse in the trans community also. Like, yeah, it's really difficult to engage with reality if you just don't want to be part of if you don't want to be in your body. So please let your kids transition. For the love of God, don't force them into a life of addiction and underemployment by preventing them from being able to assimilate in their target gender. Thank you. Good night. Yeah, I mean, I don't disagree with you, Morningstar System. Like, I frankly do think that they want us dead, and I really wanted to get out of this country, and I have, like, my priorities have changed, at least in the temporary, like, in the next couple of years at least. Like, I have a young trans brother who needs my support. Like, I can't leave this country until he is able to support himself. And that's going to take some work. So trying to keep my headphones from getting all over the floor here. What's up, Mama Mephistopheles? We talked to Demon Mama earlier, and we just had a little segment about Oklahoma trying to make transition care illegal up to age 25. Buy guns if you are mentally stable enough. So, like, on the note of buying a gun, trigger warning, LOL, trigger warning for the trigger warning of the gun. I have a suicidalness that comes and goes, not so much anymore, but it used to a lot. And I was like, really didn't want to buy a gun because I was thinking of it in terms of I would have a handgun. And I was like, well, a handgun would be pretty easy to kill myself with, and I don't really want that. But if I got like a bigger gun that was only for using like when I'm out at the shooting range and like you only buy ammo at the shooting range, then like, oh, there's no way, like if it's gonna be a weird, like I have to finagle and like use my toe to pull the trigger, you know? Does your brother have other supportive people in his life? So all of our immediate family support him in his gender identity. Like he lives with our parents and he is on hormones because they sought him medical treatment. Like some of our family don't approve, but other people in our family I think do approve. So we'll be good. Minigun with a backpack ammo case. True. Death by toe. Forcing a child to go through the wrong puberty could be likened to banning a child from getting healthcare if they're preventably going blind. I don't disagree with that. Yeah, like it's degenerative. Why do I have two of these? Keep ammo separate, maybe keep it disassembled. The more time it takes to get operational, the more safe you are from yourself. Yeah, but I like getting a gun is not like a priority for me. Ooh, Shannon recommends, like, have you done a Dragons in Media tier list? That would be so fun. Ooh, that would be so fun. Although more at risk from others. Yeah, I don't think that the gun is for personal safety. If you get one, it's not really for personal safety. So I'm more likely what I should get is a bat. And then that would be how I save my apartment from an intruder or whatever. We could drop dragon suggestions in chat. Yeah. A metal bat with spikes. Is a metal bat better or worse than a wooden bat? Do we have opinions? That's pretty much what got Hollow no longer pushing the rest of us to leave the country, seeing more kids out fighting for their survival as things escalate. Like, here's how I view my position in this. What I view as my goal here, I'm going to stay here as long as it takes to get these kids to a point where they can, like, have a job, essentially. Like, we're going to work with them to make sure they're getting their schoolwork done this year, like make sure that they're hitting their marks as they're supposed to be academically, and working with them socially, bringing up their confidence. I'm gonna bring them to the Renaissance Festival next year. Well, it's this year in the fall. They're gonna both have their first jobs seasonally at the Renaissance Festival this year. So, and then once they're at a point that they can get regular jobs, you know, in a couple years, then my next place to be, like, then we need to work on getting out of here, because then they will be able to help me. Like, if we all have the ability to work some kind of job, right? And then we get out of this country and then we establish like a foothold, like a community foothold in another country. Or I could be part of the pipeline somewhere. I could, you know, if things are safe enough, I could stay like in the Seattle area with the friends that I know, like the queer community that I know live up there, and then like be part of the pipeline that gets people out of the country into Canada or something. Like, I don't see this, like, I would prefer that to not be the case, right? I would prefer to not feel imminently like I need to get out of this country, but, you know, I do think that things are going to continue to get worse, and that these are the considerations that we would have to make. I have friends who are gunsmiths and gun dealers as well. Nice. For personal self-defense, the difference between an aluminum bat and a wooden one is negligible. Yeah, except for the fact that it could break. Like, a wooden one could break. Do you ever think about moving to a blue state? Yeah, well, so I think, Forrest, I'll probably move to Washington first. Like, if we do stay on this trajectory, like, I'm going to stay in the Midwest where it's relatively affordable to live. Like for my job, because my wage is not going to go up. If I move to a bigger city or a blue state or something that has higher like minimum wage, my income is not going to actually go up because I'm reliant on donations, you know? And it's like that time of the month where you just don't get donations. You know, like you just got to like deal with the fact that things are fluctuating in that manner. Like, but if my younger siblings are able to contribute, then like their income would go up when we move to a blue state. So potentially, or like my partner could potentially as well. There was a trans guy who was ready to throw down with the fascists at a counter protest I went to last month. He had an aluminum bat. Yeah, so the aluminum bat is still scary, you know? The west side of Washington is probably safer than eastern or central. Oh yeah, sure, yeah, exactly. Like you got to be in Seattle area, right? A bat can kill someone. You know, we're talking about self-defense here. You just gotta aim low. Just aim for the knees. Get a potato gun / launcher. It is a gun, but it can't hurt yourself easily. True. Oh, goodness gracious. Do we have anything else important to talk about today? Technically, there's a couple of other things. I live heavily armed in a house in the woods. It's not bad being a redneck sometimes. I carry pepper spray and hope for the best. Yep, I keep pepper spray on my keys. I think pepper spray is like a good baseline to be at. And then maybe like a taser for if they still manage to get within range. Get within melee range. Be like Duolingo, Japanese or break your knees. Keep in mind, though, with the pepper spray, it's not necessarily non-lethal. If you pepper spray someone in the face who has fucking asthma, they could die, you know? And you could still be at fault for manslaughter. Nix wants to ask a trans question. Sure. We can talk about trans-specific topics for a little while. We don't really talk about, like... I'm so far in my transition. You know, I subscribed to, like, r/FTM on Reddit, and I realized like, oh, I am so far beyond the kind of questions that get asked in these type of groups where people are like, yeah, I don't know, they're just like talking about passing and stuff like that, and I'm like, wow, I don't have the ability to talk, like I don't really have the ability to give it. I mean, I guess like I'm more equipped to give advice about passing than I have ever been, but it's about facial hair? Sure. What are your questions about facial hair? If you're getting something electric, get a real taser. It works differently than stun guns. It actually impedes muscle operation and doesn't just cause pain. I don't know the difference. I might have to look into that a little bit. If anybody breaks into my house to steal shit, I'm just gonna make them some coffee and break the news that I ain't got shit. I wish that were the case for me, Mama Mephistopheles. You know, it's one of those things that you don't really realize until, you don't necessarily realize until you move, but you have like as a streamer, I have thousands of dollars worth of equipment. Like, I think it's fair to say. Like, I'm a low level streamer and everything, but like I have basically a gaming computer, like a nice computer that can handle the video editing and stuff. I've got the microphone, I got the camera, like thousands of dollars of equipment. So yeah, I care a lot about home defense, like especially now that I live alone. I feel like I'm weird in that I don't really want facial hair. Is that weird? I assume that you're coming at this, Nix, from a trans-masculine point of view. I don't want facial hair. I wanted facial hair, but I started to use minoxidil on my face, and it started to come in really fast, and I was like, wow, I don't like this. Like, this is changing too quickly, and it's too much. So I don't want facial hair. So I haven't committed 100% to being like, I will never want facial hair though. So I pull out, like I tweeze my facial hair, but I tweeze it gently. I ostensibly so that it comes in, or so that it will not like come in immediately. Like when you shave, it grows back too fast is what I'm trying to say. Yeah, lots of guys shave their beards. I mean, yeah, it's not just an aesthetic choice for guys shaving their beards. Sometimes they shave their beards because they can't grow a full beard. But just started tea last month. Nice. Yeah, worst case scenario, Nix. Worst case scenario, you're going to have to do the same thing that most trans women have to do and get some laser hair removal. You know, don't worry about it. But yeah, congrats on starting tea. My facial hair is like spread out. I lasered my facial hair off. So laser hurts, right? Is that a fair assessment? Because I've been thinking about laser on my legs for a long time. And like, I've also been thinking about laser on my junk. And it's like, I bet that would hurt a lot though. Yeah, just as a reminder, pepper spray expires and becomes diluted or defective, so get a new one every 6 months or so. I mean, at the very minimum, when you buy it, it's going to come with a sticker on it that says when it's good for. You should not only make sure that it's within date, but you should also spray it once in a while, like once every month or two, and you can, like, just to make sure that the spray bottle works, because the last thing you want it's jangling around in your fucking pocket or your purse all the time, and then you whip it out and try to use it and it's like jammed or something because it's been in your purse all the time. Like, that's not good. I don't think laser hurts enough to not be worth it. What about on your genitals? Electrical hair remover, is it? Are you referring to electrolysis, Bluestone? Because, like, yeah, laser is supposed to be good for thick black hair, and electrolysis is supposed to be good for, like, thinner blonde hairs, right? I'm an AFAB non-binary person, but I don't really identify as trans mask. Is that common? It's not common, but it's not abnormal. Philin, are you familiar with Milo Stewart? Milo Stewart is someone who was assigned female, who has taken testosterone and had top surgery, but who very explicitly does not identify as transmasculine. And while I think that might be definitionally kind of silly, I understand like the idea of identifying with femness more than masculineness, but it's like you masculinized your body according to how we currently define like what masculine and feminine bodies mean. I don't know. Does laser work on junk? I hate trimming my balls. I mean, yeah, I think that it's supposed to work. And BJ says, I pulled the keys out of my pocket a while ago and the safety on my pepper spray got knocked off somehow. Yeah, you need to be careful. It's also like a pressurized container, so you need to be careful with it in the sense that it's a pressurized container. The more sensitive the area, the more it will hurt. My cheeks hurt less than my upper lip did. It's like getting thwapped with a rubber band over and over. Oh no. Some people just don't like masculine and feminine to refer to themselves considering the gender role implications. I get it. Like I'm transmasculine in the sense that my transition has been from being assigned female to like changing my body to become more masculine. But as far as my presentation, like, and how I think of my body and stuff like that, like I identify more with trans feminine people. So, like, yeah, I get it. Like, I just think that makes you both trans masculine and trans feminine. That's what I think. I just think it makes you both. I just don't really vibe with either binaries, and I feel like trans masks are usually very binary in presentation. I mean, if it helps you at all, fill in. I'm trans mask. I consider myself a trans masculine femboy. You know what I mean? but look at this hair. Oh my god. Double trans. Exactly, Bluestone. Laser does work on genitals, but since it doesn't get the peach fuzz, you need to do electrolysis before bottom surgery, or else you will have hairs growing inside. Yeah, if you are getting a vaginoplasty, like the inversion style, you would need to get electrolysis as well. I feel like I need to talk to some phalloplasty people and figure out, like, would I need to have hair removal done on, like, because... Like, obviously, I would need hair removal on my arm, unless I want to have a hairy arm skin penis. But, like, as far as, like, my genital hair, do I need to have any of that lasered off? I don't think I need to have any of it lasered off, because I think that they're just going to trigger warning, content warning, surgical talk. I mean it. Like, they're basically just going to remove the skin where the penis is going to go. Like, they're going to make a cylinder penis thing and they're going to stick it on there. And I think that circle where it is going to attach to my body, I think they're just going to remove the skin there. And then that will also remove all of the hairs there. I'm pretty sure. But yeah, no, I'm talking about, like, yeah, it was the genital area. Like, I would like to get laser on there because I just want to have laser. But, you know. Like, when you're transmask and, like, the hair starts to grow, like, pointing inward like this, it's not a good time. Anybody else have that? Like, you basically, like, shave your junk, and then when the hair starts to grow back, it's, like, growing in this direction from both sides. Doesn't feel good. I'm looking into top surgery and I'll have to use hair removal cream on my chest. Rip to my 5 chest hairs. I cherish them. So sad. I think I would not personally do abdominal phalloplasty. That's a different thing. Transception. On the note of self-defense, I use spray paint. It blinds the attacker and leaves an identifying mark. Oh, that is a really, really good idea. Also, welcome to the website. How are you doing today? Yeah, give those chest hairs a Viking funeral. The hair do be in weird places now. It's like I guess, like, we're gonna be graphic now. It's like, you know, you have, like, the lips, right? Like, they're shaped like this. Like, my thumbs are not part of it. It's like, here's the lips, right? And they can, like, open and close, right? And there's hair growing on the outside, right? And, like, your little clitoris guy is right here, okay? That's where it is. And then the hair starts to gradually spread further out this way onto your legs, like your leg like this. It spreads out onto your legs. And it spreads in this way. So then the hairs are pointing inward toward your most sensitive bits. You go to shave your junk, and then you have little fucking stabby spines on the inside of your labia area. It's not good. That's why I want laser. Can't help you with her legs. I have one penis too many. True. You're joining the penis gang. I think probably... It's one of those things where I'm like, I definitely, like, I acknowledge and I know that I want a penis, right? Like, I want one. However, do I want to have surgery is a different question that I'm still in the process of answering. And, like, I have a long-term fucking romantic partner that I'm trying to work shit out with, and I need to have a discussion about this in more detail. Good night, Spider. Yeah, I pulled the chicken out of the freezer earlier so that I can eat it after stream. We've been going for 2 hours. I've had so much shit in my notes just, like, sitting there for fucking weeks. Surgery sucks no matter what it is. Yeah, and it's a pretty intense surgery, and it's more than one stage. Like, you literally minimum of 2 stages of surgery. I really want meta with no UL and no vaginectomy. Like, yeah, do you want like a simple meta? I could see that being like, I want to leave my junk the way that it is and just add a Pebis to it, but yeah. Right, I wish we could get through this stuff without having to go through surgery, but sadly magic doesn't exist. Even then, it's not always like, in the magic systems, it's always like, it usually requires some kind of sacrifice. It's like, ooh. You know, you can't have the ideal body without having the, without going through the sacrifice of the fucking... the surgery. Capital S, capital T. Actually... I'd personally like penile preserving vaginoplasty, but like going through the process sounds like a lot recovery-wise and financially. Yeah, like I'm gonna have to crowdfund my surgery, which, you know, if I manage to crowdfund the tens of thousands of dollars that it will cost, I will consider myself incredibly lucky. And I hope that I can get to that point. If I do get to that point, you know, yeah, the insurance thing, like, I don't want to have to fight with insurance as a non-binary person. It just sounds like a fucking nightmare. Late to the topic, but on the trans mask thing, I think there's a difference between the definitions you technically fit and the labels you personally feel describe you. I agree, Penrose. This is why I say whatever, I don't care. Like, if somebody is what I would consider definitionally transmasculine, but they don't want to call themselves that, I say, okay, I don't care, that's fine. If someone is non-binary but doesn't consider themselves trans, I'm like, that's fine. Like, I consider you trans according to my definition, but if you're not comfortable with it, that's whatever, it's fine. I'm on the fence of whether I want to get rid of my pee-pee or just the balls, and then whether I want to have depth. I had a very funny thought, like, just while we're on the subject, like, because I bought a grinding toy. Like, I bought a toy, like a silicone... basically like a zero depth vagina, where it's just like a vulva and a zero depth vagina. And I was like, while I was thinking about it and the purchasing of it, I was like, that would be the perfect couple. Is like, I'm getting my first grinding toy ever, Ramya. I don't have one. I've just purchased my very first one today, and I'm hoping I get it fairly soon. But I was like, a transmasculine person who's who's had hormones but hasn't had surgery yet, and then like a trans woman or a trans femme with like a zero depth vaginoplasty. That's like the perfect, combo, you know? In the Cosmere, it was confirmed that if you're trans, healing magic will basically get you the body you want because it mirrors your cognitive shadow. That's cool. As for surgery, I think I have the very common experience of wanting a penis, but not surgery. IDK, if this would be offensive, but I kind of identify as a trans femboy. How do you mean? Like, why would it be offensive? I'm a trans masculine femboy. That's what I identify as at this point in my transition. I'm like wearing a skirt right now. I'm literally wearing a skirt right now. I'm like transmasculine, but I'm a femboy, okay? That's what it's gonna be. I gotta get some more water, and then I'll come back. Yeah. Have you drank enough water this stream? I heard femboy can be an offensive term. Oh yeah, I mean, who cares? I very specifically put the word femboy in my Twitter bio because I was like, this is gonna ward off the kind of people that I don't want to talk to. I once dated a transmask envy who described his gender as not a man, just a lil guy, and then he did the gremlin thing. People who say femboys are offensive to trans people have either never met a trans person or never met a femboy. Skirts are nice if you don't have chub rub. I mean, listen, it's not like people who don't have pubis don't have like chafing with their thighs together, right? Hello, Julian Skull. Welcome in. Just a little guy. So many of my non-binary friends are on that same I'm just a little guy kind of stuff. Anyway. I fear going on T though because of facial hair growth and losing my singing voice. We were talking about facial hair growth a little while earlier. Honestly, the worst case scenario on the facial hair growth is that it gives you dysphoria and you have to have laser hair removal. It's not a big deal. Like, it's not a big deal. As far as losing your singing voice goes, let's see, will I be able to do it tonight? Like, not only do I have a pretty deep voice, so I have access to like some country music stuff like, oh my god, my throat's so fucking clogged up. Like, would you go with me? And like lower stuff like that, like in that range, that Johnny Cash sort of range. But then also, if you just practice and keep singing, you can also be like, let's see, can we do Phantom of the Opera right now? Think of me fondly when we've said good. I can't hit that note. Goodbye. So if you just practice, you'll lose some of the tippy top of your range, but it's like, I'm actually kind of surprised I was able to do that because normally I can't do both at the same, like in the same day. But yeah, you just practice. My cisgender male partner he went through male puberty, all right? His total vocal range is like the same width as mine, but like just a couple notches lower. So like he can hit a slightly lower low than I can hit, and I can hit a slightly higher high than he can hit, but we both have access to that range. It's literally just training and practice. Yeah, as long as you continue using the upper register, you can keep a lot of it. Yep, pretty much. I didn't lose any music skills, if that makes sense. I'm just having to learn how to use new notes. Yes! I've heard people say that femboy is a slur for trans women because some porn fetishizing them refers to them that way, but like, I'm pretty sure any term meaning man who is feminine or anything similar has been used to refer to trans women, so I don't really see that. Yeah, I mean, I just, like, even if femboy is a slur, okay, I'm still gonna reclaim it, because suck dick, like, I don't care. For real about my singing voice, says Soy Boy, I do miss my old voice, but for every moment I do, there's another moment I love singing in my new voice. It's complicated. Yes, I'm still in the process of retraining it. Yep. Excuse me. Ugh. For the most part, T just kind of extends a lot of what you're already capable of doing. It just takes training to get a lot of that. Yeah, I mean, just practice, all right? Trans mask voice and like shakes hands with trans femme penis. Use it or lose it. You poor girls. I don't want to get into femboy discourse today about whether it's queer baiting, because there was discourse on Twitter about that this week, and I'm just, yeah. I don't want to get into the discourse about Finster. Do you ever feel, Speedy Shimeji, like the resonance in your chest is actually like unpleasant? Sometimes I'm like, this is overstimulation. Like, it just feels bad. Hello, Adria. Welcome in. Finn is cute, though. It's crazy how hot Finn is in the girl mode. Yeah, I think Soy Boy is accurate in saying that it's changing on testosterone has changed the ability to sing quietly. I would agree with that. Queer baiting is when my gaydar is wrong. Who's Finn? He's a femboy who is on Twitch and is like crazy hot in the girl mode. Like, it's fucking insane. Oh gosh. These are the things that have been sitting on my list for a while. Someone wanted me to talk about the passing of Mira Bellwether, which I honestly, I didn't really know her work, so I don't know that I want to talk about it, just because like I'm not saying she doesn't deserve to be remembered. I'm just saying that like I don't think I'm gonna do her justice if I talk about her. So that's been on the list for a while. And then I've had on my list for a while a post from the Lemkin Institute, which is like they study genocide. They have a statement about the genocidal nature of the gender critical movement. And I think that is specifically looking at the UK gender critical movement. But like that's been on the list for a while to get to address. And then we have a couple other news items that have been happening recently. We already covered the NHS recently, but more specifically, the NHS apparently is implementing gender exploratory therapy, or like having like gender exploratory therapists advising their restructuring of the trans healthcare gender identity clinics. Like, it's pretty fucked up. And then there was also a Kentucky senator who had a transgender son who recently committed suicide. So these are like the things that I've been avoiding talking about over the last few weeks. Can you tell why? Can you tell why I've been avoiding the news? I wish they banned TERFs from calling themselves gender critical. Right, they are not critical of gender. I'll take Lose It for 500, Alex. Oh my god, Nuvenol. Did y'all who went on T have to relearn how to project? Because I used to speak super quietly, which doesn't work as well with a lower voice. Oh yeah, having like trying to speak normally and like having people be like constantly like, I can't hear you. Yeah, you have to use more air. Even the term TERF implies they're feminists. They named themselves that. They named themselves trans exclusionary radical feminists. Which is why it's so silly that they object against it. Oh, I'm so sorry, Hollow. Or whoever is hanging out right now. I'm sorry that your therapist dumped you. I hope you feel better. And hope you find a new one. I used to often hear singers describe learning how to sing from their chest or their diaphragm or stomach and never understood how they do that. You gotta put more force. Gotta put more force into it. Suddenly, Finster discourse doesn't seem so bad. Right, Forrest, right? Like, when my therapist suddenly quit her job in February last year, I fucking cried. Or it was in like maybe January or February. I don't know. It was early in the year. I was like really upset about it. I got the call when I was at work that she was not going to be coming back from her like month of FMLA, and I was like, fucking felt like my mom died. And now I work with a different therapist who I don't have nearly as personal of a relationship with. I was like, I don't want to have a relationship that is that personal with a therapist right now. On that note, did anyone have a hard time choosing a name? I spent a while working on that project of finding a new name, and then fucking 10 years later, I was like, I guess I don't resonate with that name very much anymore. So I don't really have good advice. Am I old enough now that I'm actually not a good person to ask for trans advice on? I kind of feel like I've reached a point where I'm like, I don't care about so many trans specific issues. I mean, like, if you want some really hyper specific tips on how to pass, I can help with that. I tried to help. Do you guys remember Casey Miller? Do you all remember Casey Miller, who we talked about recently? Like a detransitioner who was talking about like, this is what being on this is what happens when you give a female testosterone for 5 years. It makes you go bald. And then we found out while we were reading through the tweets that she had been going bald before coming out as trans. I don't know what pronouns to use for this person because they fucking refused to put them in their Twitter bio. So I'm just going to switch between he, she, and they. Like, they were posting on Twitter about how like they were struggling so much with looking male and not passing enough to be able to use women's restrooms. And I dumped like 4 tweets of advice on like things that they could do to feminize their appearance and be able to look feminine, and they didn't respond to or even hit the like button on any of those tweets that I posted that were like, here are ways that you could tangibly, like, you could do your makeup in this very specific way. You could use minoxidil to regrow your hair, or you could get hair plugs to regrow your hair. Like, and then I told them, like, you should probably hang around with trans women because they're going to be the ones who will give you the best tips for how to pass as female. Like, you'll just absorb it through osmosis if you just be around more trans women. But no, they didn't acknowledge any of those tweets. And then later, I was like, I followed them because I was like, okay, I'm going to follow Casey Miller, even though they keep posting this weird gender cult shit, like complaining about like deconverting from the gender cult. And then they ended up posting like I know that I always talk about gender stuff, but I also want to come out against surrogacy. Like they said like my parents went through an unofficial process to get a surrogate for their baby. Was it surrogacy? Yeah, it was specifically surrogacy and not adoption. Yeah, they were like, so like the parents went through unconventional means to get a surrogate. So they skipped all of the parts where there was any vetting in the process. So the birth mother was like doing drugs and stuff while she was pregnant with Casey Miller. And then like all kinds of other, like the parents were abusive actually. And like there was intense issues as like through their childhood and stuff. And so they came out swinging against surrogacy in general. And I'm like, so you admit that your parents went outside of the usual modes to do this and like did it in a specifically fucked up way, and you're going to come out against surrogacy in general because it gave you issues to have like abusive parents basically who did things in the most fucked up way possible. Like I almost tweeted about this, and like I'm not posting this as a segment on the channel, so I don't really feel that bad saying it here on stream, but like that is exactly the kind of person who would lie for years about what they wanted from their transition. They would lie to doctors for years and then turn around and blame the doctors for the fact that they treated their patient like they were being honest. IDK, if I mentioned this, but I came across Shifter of Shapes on my timeline again the other day, and it was a fucking weird tweet fetishizing being a sex and career-obsessed man. Like, just go on T and put him in your bio. It's not that hard, dude. I think Shifter of Shapes is actually assigned male. Like, I think that they started to transition to a trans woman and then detransitioned. Yeah, exactly, Forrest. They're just against anything that they've ever had bad experiences with in the past. Someone was asking about voice stuff. Look up supported singing on YouTube to be able to project. Yeah. Why is everyone obsessed with having hair so much? I mean, yeah, I don't know. I care a lot about having nice hair. I'm starting to bald in this area over here because I keep pulling, like I keep playing with and pulling my hair, and it's pulling my hair out of my scalp, and I'm gonna like make specific efforts to fix it because I care a lot. Soyboy asked, is it true you're doubly likely to lose your hair because the bald gene is on the X chromosome? Fact check. So like you can inherit it from either parent. Yeah, you could inherit it from either parent because it does supposedly reside on the X chromosome. So you would have to look at both sides of your family to determine whether you're going to go bald. What's up, Sandu Tita? Yeah, we've talked about a few things so far. We've been going for like 2.5 hours. Excuse me. I'm against dentists. They poke my gums. True. I once had a filling fall out. So the entire industry of dentistry is a scam. I will also say, though, Speedy Shimeji, that like it's probably fairly common for there to be chromosomal anomalies that mean like you probably have a pretty high number of people who are intersex in the strictest sense that their chromosomes don't match their phenotype. But that can happen very easily. Like, there's just like, if certain genes don't switch on, then you're going to develop ovaries. Like, you know, testosterone is going to affect you or it's not. So I actually think that I don't know that you can just say, oh, if I'm transmasculine, I probably have 2 X chromosomes. Like, I mean, probably, but I would say that there's like a maximum of like a 90% certainty on that. Apparently they were transitioned for years. They had surgery years ago. Like, it's so hard to tell with someone like Shifter of Shapes. Like, are you politically motivated? They wanted to come on my stream, but I think that they wanted to come on my stream so that they could abuse me. Like, that's why I blocked them, is because I realized, like, oh, yeah, this person is really keen to have a conversation with me because they want to abuse me and call me a woman a bunch. So I'm not going to fucking deal with that shit. That's what I chose. Casey Miller says that they regret going on Blair White's show. So I guess I appreciate that they have some amount of self-awareness, but for fuck's sake, girl, like, come on. Yeah, no, Shifter of Shapes is creepy as fuck towards trans mask people. Yeah, they were like, you don't need to go on hormones, you're beautiful. And I'm like, yeah, I am. And like, and they were like, oh, you don't need surgery, you're beautiful as you are. And I'm like, yeah, I am beautiful as I am, and I am going to get surgery, like, and I want surgery. Like, what are you talking about? Like, yeah, I will be more beautiful and perfect when I have healed after my surgery. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? I heard an account from an intersex trans girl who was phenotyped multiple times, and the results she got back were straight up lies. You mean like karyotyped? Is that what you're trying to say? Karyotyped? I was recommended Blair White Project on YouTube the other day. I immediately clicked do not recommend channel. Right? I need to have like a separate YouTube account for looking at reactionary content. Although, like, what did you all think of Demon Mama's idea of we would like of reacting to other leftists' content more often? Like, are there any like other leftist content creators that we would do reaction content to? I've reacted to Vosh before, but that's not like gonna help Vosh in any way. I wonder how many intersex people might also be lied to by medical professionals about their status. I think it's actually pretty routine, Speedy Shimeji, for intersex people to be like, you know, for surgery to be performed on of the genitals of an infant, and then it gets recorded as a urological fix instead of a normalizing an intersex baby's genitals fix. So like, not only will they sometimes not disclose your medical records to you, but they will sometimes also, like, I think that intersex people are like the one type of person who it's legal to totally seal off their medical records in such a way that they can't access their own medical records for like their entire life. 1 full month of reacting to every Essence of Thought video. Let's go. I don't want to kill myself, actually, Nuvenal. I try to watch people I don't agree with in equal measure of people I do get, in equal measure to people I do agree with in order to get a more nuanced perspective, but it's so cringe. I have decided that there are some types of opinions that I don't really need to understand fully in order to discount. Essence of Thought is bad for heart health. True. I can only watch people I don't agree with via people who I do agree with. Adria, I kind of feel that. Like, I can watch, like, if I watch Vosh watching the presidential debate, I can handle that a lot better. I know, Forrest, I know there's drama going on between Essence of Thought and Lily Orchard. They're made for each other. They tend to try to convince you that you are cis and, quote, normal. They try to make you conform even if it causes you medical, psychological, and legal trouble later as an intersex person. Yeah, Mersh can speak to that first hand. I love Hassan Abi. Should we react to Hassan Abi? Is that a thing? I don't watch him at all. Right, yeah, David Reimer is kind of the classic example of there was a botched circumcision, so they just gave him a vagina, but then he grew up and was like, actually, I'm a boy. React to little Joel. Like, not even big Joel. Like, you want me to react to Joel's side channel? You got to get in the spirit. Baphomet, I was going to make that joke. Put on a Hassan video and leave the room. True. Put on a Hassan video and go cook myself fucking dinner. Yeah, I don't really watch Hassan very much. I don't know much about him. But there is a channel in the Discord called Stream Recommendations, and if you have a video that you want me to react to, no, you're good. I hadn't been able to word the joke the way that I wanted to, so I had given up on making the joke. So I appreciate that you made it. I agree with you, James, that circumcisions should be banned. I don't think that circumcision. Wow, I can't talk. I don't believe that male circumcision should be illegal because of the chance of losing the penis. I think that it's just a fundamental bodily autonomy issue, right? Sometimes watching reactionary content is really satisfying, like every Caitlyn Bennett video. Caitlyn Bennett is such a piece of work. Hassan is great to watch. I'd watch the vid. All right, if you guys say so. Rollbin Sky says, I recently found out that polycystic ovarian syndrome is considered an intersex condition, which makes intersex people at least 1 in 10 of the populace. I didn't know that the PCOS prevalence was... If you say 1 in 10 of the populace, do you mean 1 in 10 of females, or do you mean 1 in 10 of the populace, which would make it like a much different number? You know what I mean? I can list some people I don't like. Circumcision, lose feeling. Yeah, that's like one of the main problems with it. Like, I've heard some men report that because they don't have the sensitive part of their penis in the foreskin, that they have to be kind of rough in order to come. And then that leads to chafing and desensitization. And so you have like an entire subreddit at least of guys who are trying to figure out how to regrow their foreskin because sex doesn't feel like anything. Like, they have to be so rough with it that like then they try to actually have sex and it like because it's like smooth, it doesn't feel like anything. And that's not like great for intimacy. Like, I honestly think that circumcision harms marriages. Like, I genuinely think that it hurts men's ability to be like men, anyone born with a penis. Like, I think it hurts your ability to be empathetic. Endurance is cool until it isn't. I mean, in the case of what I'm describing, Spacer's Choice, it's like, it's not endurance. It doesn't feel like anything, so they just go soft. Like, it just goes away, right? It's true that uncircum. Yeah, they don't. I mean, like, you're literally removing nerves off of the penis, so, like, and it's off of, like, the most sensitive parts of the penis. Yeah, you remove, like, thousands of nerve endings. I had an ex tell me the opposite, and I believed him. Really? Yeah, the head of the penis, it's like a mucous membrane that's supposed to be covered all the time. And so if it's rubbing against your jeans and stuff, like, it's not good. Yes, the foreskin is the same thing as the clitoral hood. If you remove skin, there's more exposed nerves, silly. But there's like you trolling me again, you weirdo? Anyway, I'm very firmly against circumcision as well. It's kind of callous. Like, yeah, it's supposed to be wet and protected all the time. So instead, it's like dry. Like, imagine if the inside of your vagina was constantly exposed to the air. Or like, I guess, imagine if your asshole was just always gaped open and like there was air just there all the time. Like, can you imagine how that would feel over time if it was drying out the inside of your asshole? Okay, I got you, Venetian. I got you. I'd make a smuggy joke, but I got nothing. What does bottom growth feel like? It hurts. Want to be clear. When you are assigned female and you have a clitoris and you take testosterone and your bottom growth starts to happen, it hurts. Like, you're not going to be able to touch it directly. Like, you're going to try to clean it and you're going to have to be like, ooh, like, oh, I'm gonna like you just wipe it off really fast and then stop touching it because you're gonna be like, wow, that doesn't feel good. The whole it's easier to keep clean stuff needs to die. The really funny thing about the it's easier to keep clean thing is that, like, while the baby is in diapers, like for the first 2 years maybe, like the foreskin is actually fused to the head of the penis. So, like, not only are they cutting it off when they do a circumcision, but they also are, like, ripping it apart from the glands. Like, so it's just bad on all fronts. My bottom growth does hurt occasionally, but I can still touch it and it's chill. Doesn't hurt to the touch. Rubbing against my jeans, though, that shit can be rough. It's, like, so sensitive. I mean, maybe it was just because, like, the size that mine was when I started. I don't know. I have also been pumping. I would never do that. I don't think getting minors' ears pierced is ethical either in principle. I don't think that you should get a baby's ears pierced. I think that if you have, like, a 12-year-old who wants to get their ears pierced, that's probably fine. But you don't want to do it to a child who can't understand what's happening. And also, you have to consider that if you pierce a kid's ears when they're too young, their body can change in such a way that their piercings end up, like, off center or whatever. Yeah, you shouldn't do a toddler or a baby. See ya, Anjali. Have a good night. It's not that bad for me, but I'm 2 years in. Yeah, the bottom growth happens usually within those first 2 years, basically. What's up, Jimsy? This is all Abraham's fault. Yeah, we're talking about circumcision. I don't know why we are talking about circumcision, but it's just been like, I don't want to talk about any of this serious news. We're going to have to do something different this year where, like, we're going to have like nights where we specifically talk about the news and nights where we specifically don't, maybe. I don't know. Like, it sucks though. Oddly enough, I was relieved that I had my ears pierced when I was a baby and couldn't remember it. I love wearing earrings, but I'm a coward when it comes to pain. It's so easy to get your ears pierced. It's not hard. Tarot reading? Yeah, we can do a tarot reading before we wrap up stream tonight. How long do I have to wait to get my ears pierced after they close up? You will not be able to get them pierced in the same spot, unfortunately. You will have to get them pierced in a different spot because it's really difficult to pierce through scar tissue. Still putting off getting tattoos because I'm scared. I'm scared shitless of the pain. I hope that I can afford to get a tattoo this year, but I have other priorities. Like this year, I want to probably try to take a trip to Seattle. That's going to be a goal for me. So that's going to obviously cost like a couple $100. And I need to buy a bed. That's going to cost money. So while I would like to get more tattoos, that's definitely not a priority. Especially when we have like some nights where we just have no donos, you know? At least I made it for the tarot reading true. Oh, Demon Mama's stream just ended. Her internet went out. That sucks. Tattoo just feels like scratching until it's really raw. Tattoo hurt like a bitch for me. It pinches so hard. Anyway, what am I doing? Internet is awful on the West Coast right now. Hassan's stream kept going offline all day. I don't see the appeal of tattoos, TBH. I don't know, like, I can't, like, explain it to you if you don't already feel like you want art on your body. Like, I don't know, like, some of them are reminders. Like, this is a reminder not to kill myself. This one is a reminder that I am the only person who has any power to change anything in my life. This one is a reminder that we are all going to die. This one back here is more of a brand. This one, it's like a gender symbol. Can I? Oh yeah, you can see it. Yeah. But I want to get that one covered up, I think. Because I don't, like, want to have a transmasculine gender symbol on my body anymore, I don't think. But I'm ready for, like, some real art. I'd like to get some shading. Like, I really love it when I see someone has really cool tentacle tattoos or a really cool flower tattoo, but I don't know if those are right for me. I want something like that, something that you could do some really beautiful artistic shading. Jimsy, thank you for the $20. Thank you. No dono-less streams on my watch. Salute, comrade. Anjali asks, before I leave, can I ask if you'll ever have an NB cam sex worker on stream? I mean, I'm not like specifically motivated to do that, but sure. I mean, I don't have anything against it. Cool dragon tattoos. I don't think I want dragon tattoos. I think that I might get scales tattooed on my body somewhere, perhaps, but probably not an actual tattoo of a dragon. I don't know. It just doesn't seem right for me. Scales sound sick. Right, but like, so how cool would it be if I just had like scale tattoos coming up like this, like on my neck? You know? That would be pretty cool. I want one of those succubus hearts on my under my belly button. Yeah, like the breed me tattoo that you get on the lower belly there. I have 39 tattoos now. Some were custom. There were a lot of flash pieces though. Wait, is there going to be a flash? Can we do... Oh, wait, I don't want... Oh, yeah. So there is going to be a Friday the 13th next week, but but I'm not going to get a tattoo for Friday the 13th because there's going to be too many people. Danny, thank you for the $5 dono. I really appreciate that. You guys coming in right at the end of the stream. It's appreciated. Like everybody just paid rent, so I completely understand the lack of donos. Don't feel like guilty if you can't afford it or anything, but thank you, seriously. Yes, salute. I love my tattoo. It's of Sailor Moon's Moonstick. It was done by my childhood friend who's an amazing artist. It was like an intense vibration and it was relaxing, except for when she went over a tendon, then it pinched. All of my tattoos have hurt. This one, I thought that this was my first tattoo and I thought, oh, I'll get this because like I was figuring like if it doesn't really hurt to pop pimples on my back here, like it doesn't hurt as much here as it does on my face or whatever by comparison, then this is probably like pretty thick skin and it won't hurt too bad. But no, it fucking hurt. This one really sucked. Like, let me tell you, like this part right here, right by my collarbone, let me tell you, that part was not fun. This part also not fun. This one also right here, this part right here was not fun at all. This part right here specifically. The thing I hated most with all my tattoos was when they blend colors together. I've never gotten any color. That's the other thing. I want a color tattoo. Like I'm ready to have color on me and shading. I give primary to the shading because black and white tattoos last longer. But yeah, anyway. Oh my God. What should we do a reading for today, my lovelies? I discovered I have a headmate recently, which was pretty anxiety-inducing thing for me to figure out. That is, I imagine that would be really spooky. I know that I don't personally want to have a headmate, so why do people get tattoos if getting them is so painful? Because then you have a thing permanently on you. Like, that's why. Would like to get an evolutionary tree with some extra stuff in the design sometime? Yes. I'm coming to grips with it. I've been getting to know him better. That's cool. Like, you are going to have, like, a person with you. You know? You're going to have a person with you all the time. His name's Kennedy. Well, convey my salutations and welcome to the world. They do it to earn the power, to learn the power of yes. Finding the first headmate is fucking spooky, but it gets better. Yeah, I imagine that it would be spooky. I did figure out what, like, one of the tattoos that I want to get. Like, I was like, how do I want to honor Avatar The Last Airbender? Like, I want to get an Avatar The Last Airbender tattoo. And the one I've settled, I want to get a tattoo of the Banyan Grove tree. What is a headmate? Ramya, we are talking about dissociative identity disorder. I'm just going to pull up a link for you, Ramya, so that you can watch this and kind of get an idea of what it means rather than... Because we talked about this at the end of last stream earlier this week, and I don't want to get on a huge tangent about this, so I'm just going to send you some information that you'll be able to... You can educate yourself a little bit on this if you want to. Yeah, the Avatar The Last Airbender Banyan Grove tree specifically. Like, oh, did I save the picture? I hope I saved the picture in my tattoo ideas folder. I went searching for something specific and I was surprised that I found what I was looking for. Whoop, nope. Did I not save it? Damn. I didn't save it. Basically, you know the world tree, the art of like, hold on. popos are coming. Actually, I think that's a fire truck. There was this one. Yeah. So I kind of want like basically this. But not with Cora sitting there because Cora sucks ass. I don't like Cora. Are we gonna go on another fucking tangent? Anyway. But it's like the world tree as above, so below in that like pagan sense, but it's also the Banyan Grove tree from Avatar: The Last Airbender. So I think I want to get that like here on my back. Like, that would be cool, I think. Yeah, Yggdrasil. If you do tarot for a book, can you say that you've read it for the purpose of school assignments? I think so. That makes sense. Can we do a reading on success? We could do a reading for the disarray in the house right now. Will Kevin McCarthy take more L's tomorrow? It looks like a mushroom. It kind of... I mean, it's supposed to be... Like, the place that it exists in the show is like this, you know? Like, it exists in a big grove. Essentially. Oh, gosh. Can we do a reading on success? Or... What's going on in the house right now? I haven't quite caught up on all that. I used to hate that episode as a kid. I thought it was boring. It makes me cry. Like, I find it so emotionally affecting when they're standing beneath the Banyan Grove tree and he's like, you think there's any difference between you or your friend? Like, what does he say? He's like, if you just stop and listen, you can hear the whole world breathing together. And I'm like, I want to cry. We're going to do a reading. We're going to do a tarot reading. Let's do a reading for the GOP. Let's do a reading for the GOP. Huh? We'll do a 3-card spread for the GOP. McCarthy has lost the vote for Speaker of the House 9 times now. A Democrat received more votes. Nothing like this has happened in 150 years. Isn't the House like Republican dominated? That just whoever they picked for the Republican, they just really don't like him. Ash tree's branches curve upward at the ends. That's cool. Yggdrasil is supposed to be an ash tree in North Mist, but that looks more like an oak. Yeah, no. I know that this is not the world tree. It's like, I just thought that image where it's the Banyan Grove tree, but in the same style that the world tree is often presented in, where you can see the roots. Like, I just thought that was cool conceptually. I want to have an artist draw this whole cloth. Like, just take this general concept and then draw it themselves. I don't want to have this copy pasted onto my body. You know what I mean? Okay, let's do a reading. Let's do a 3-card spread for the GOP. Are we ready? I still don't have the ability to show you the spread. I don't have an extra camera set up, so you just have to deal with it for now. Okay. I want my first tattoo to be a sigil of Baphomet womb tattoo, TBH, the same one Baph has. I think that you're the second person to bring that up in stream now. Maybe the third. I think there may be 3 people in the chat who have mentioned the womb tattoo. Okay. Okay, we're doing a spread for the GOP now. So the first card that we have is Major Arcana, the Sun. That's what she looks like. And she's in the upright position. So I've had the Sun before, but I don't remember what she means. I'm hoping to memorize these. That's really why we're doing the tarot spreads on stream, is because it's fun, first of all, and second of all, because I can practice learning the cards and not have to reference the book every time. The sun in the upright position augurs a moment of sudden illumination. Truths are plainly observable, and there is joy and relief. The sun brings warmth and the potential for growth as new patterns and habits are cultivated. This is a time to acknowledge and celebrate what makes you brilliant. What tarot is that? This is the Star Spinner Tarot. So I recommend it. I think it's a cute one. So we're going to see this fit in the context of these other cards, okay? These are all major arcana. That's really interesting. I did not expect that. Okay. So that card had to do with sudden illumination. Truths are plainly observable, and there is joy and relief. We could view that as potentially having to do with like some honesty, some coming to grips or whatever. Do you ever have any kind of pre-tarot ritual for the cards? I mostly just hold them and try to convey my energy toward them. I'm an atheist, so this sounds really stupid, but like I haven't really been shuffling the cards recently because I'm trying to learn the deck and I kept having repeats. So I basically I hold the cards for a while, and like while I'm thinking about what I'm going to do with them. Or in the mornings, what I've been doing is I'll just do a 1 card in the morning just to be like, what is the day going to be like today? So basically, like, the only, like, pre-tarot ritual that I really have so far is just, like, familiarizing myself with the cards and, like, being present with the cards. I don't know why. That's just what feels right for me to do. So the next card is Temperance, which was in the inverted position. So, but that's what he looks like. He was upside down. Temperance is 14. So Temperance in the reversed position reveals that those things we cling to in times of upheaval are not as reliable as we once believed. Examine your personal and interpersonal habits and honestly determine which of those things perpetuate patterns that drain you of your resources, your energy, your compassion, and your creativity. Okay, Ramya, that's cool. So remember, this is a 3-card spread. And this is not present, past, future. We're going to read them all together, right? You can charge your cards under the full moon tomorrow night. I'm not putting any of my shit outside. For sure not going to happen. So, and then our third card. So we're going to try to read all these 3 together as one message. Our third card is Judgment, which looks like this. Isn't that cool? Yeah. And that's in the upright position. And that's card number 20. Judgment. Judgment represents strength of character. Your journey has been long and difficult, and you have risen to the occasion at every challenge. You are ready to look back on your journey and assess your triumphs and failures. Judgment heralds a spiritual awakening. As one part of your journey comes to a close, a higher purpose calls to you. Oh, hold on. Oh, shit. Okay. It's 9 o'clock. I have to take my pills. Hold on. Okay. So, I guess there's a couple of different ways that we could read this. It's so weird that these are all 3 major arcana. We had the sun representing a moment of some sudden illumination. Truths are plainly visible. There's joy and relief. There's a potential for growth with this. And then Temperance in the reverse position being we're clinging to things in times of upheaval, and those are not reliable as we once believed. Examine your personal and interpersonal habits and determine which of these things perpetuate patterns that drain you of resources. And then with Judgment in there as well, Judgment represents strength of character. Your journey has been long and difficult. You've risen to the occasion at every challenge. You're ready to look back on your journey and assess your triumphs and failures. Judgment heralding a spiritual awakening. As one part of your journey comes to a close, a higher purpose calls to you. I mean, there is one aspect of this makes me feel like, I mean, and this is maybe my hopeful reading biasing the cards a little bit, but I kind of feel like this might have to do with the changes that are going to need to happen in the Republican Party as a result of like the January 6th insurrection information. Like the sun, truths are being revealed, right? Like truths are being revealed. Judgment is happening. Although judgment doesn't necessarily have a negative connotation of judgment. It just heralds a spiritual awakening, a part of your journey coming to a close with a higher purpose calling you. Like, we could read this as hopeful that the GOP will become something better once it's being purged of some of these negative influences. Like, you know, the habits that the GOP has been delving into are not serving them well. So maybe they need to examine those truths and make some changes, possibly. Or this could be a reading that indicates that they're going to succeed and take over the country fascistically, which we can all hope that that doesn't happen, but a higher purpose calls for Lux to take its pills. True. Yeah, true. We are seeing that they cannot operate in the normal fashion. They are obstructionist, and it's really forcing people to take a look at it head on. I do think that there is, I mean, I hope at least, that their aggressive anti-queer stance will not be cool with people. Like, I hope that that people aren't just like fine with that. Excuse me. Oh my God. Oh, excuse me. I edged all my tarot decks in pretty colors. It was fun. Colors that match the energy of each deck. That could be a good idea. Yeah, I saw Laura. Baphomet mentioned that the stream cut out. It was good to see you and Demon Mama together again. Right. I like her a lot, and I would like to speak with her more often. She is always super nice to me when I speak with her over DMs and everything. So, new place looks great. Thank you. I am excited. There's still developments that are going to continue to happen. I still have more shit that I need to buy. Even the stream background still needs to get filled out a little bit more, but things are looking up. I'm excited. Yeah. I'm not going to disagree with James bitching about both the Democrats and the Republicans. Can't argue with that. DMs with DM, you say. I know. I'm glad that you all like Demon Mama, because I really like her, and it would be really awkward if a bunch of my fans had issues with me being, like, friendly with her. Just seeing the vines back there, and if you want advice on plants, you could hit up Shark Zero. Yeah, so these are actually fake, but I do have a bunch of plants, and actually I have like 20 potted plants, I think. Or I have like 18 potted plants and 2 terraria that have moss in them. But yeah. I do think it would be cool to actually have a wall covered with vines like these, but these are plastic. I recently repotted and hung a bunch of my plants in the bedroom. Because like there's a window in there, and they're plants that I don't really want them on a shelf because they're string of turtles and like string of hearts, so they want to droop down. Why would anyone have an issue with Demon Mama being friends with you? People think that Demon Mama is like toxic, I guess. So I think that there are some people who might have issues with that. But I always assumed, like, as soon as I started streaming, I just kind of assumed that she and I would share the same type of audience. Since I think, I feel like we're pretty similar people. Vosh's community is mixed on Demon Mama, at least certain parts of it, which I think is weird. I think that Vosh's community has an unfortunate misogyny element to it, which, like, yeah, I mean, it's like, he has a massive fan base, so that's probably just naturally going to happen. Like, if you get a large enough percentage of people in your audience, there is a like the chance of one of those people being misogynistic is going to increase, and he makes misogynistic jokes. So I get it. Like, I get why that happened. I really want to get into gardening, but I don't like the feeling of dirt, and I'm terrified of seeing earthworms or anything wriggly in the soil. You should really use gloves anyway, but I mean, yeah, if you don't like seeing bugs, I can't help you. I have a one community at a time brain, so I don't get out here as much, but as I want to, but it's always fun to see your stuff. Yeah, I appreciate it. And like, no worries. I get it. Like, you're busy, and Demon Mama's community is consistently under fire from people like Destiny and stuff like that. So I can understand that being a handful to deal with. I feel like Vash's community has a lot more drama frogs than Demon Mama's community, because Demon Mama specifically tries to foster the opposite of that kind of thing, i.e. cautioning against drama for drama's sake, not discoursing on Twitter. I think Vash gets spicy in ways that I don't think Demon Mama really does. Like, it's just a certain type of approach to things. That's kind of what I meant, James. I think that Vash, when he's using misogyny for humor, I think that he's being ironic. But what I'm saying is some people in his community will not see it that way. As a Demon Mama mod, we do not like drama shit, and we specifically don't have a drama channel. It's a feature, not a bug. We actually do have a drama channel in my Discord, but it's specifically for like pointing and laughing at stupid shit. That's like what it's specifically for. Ooh, getting into hydroponics. Rami is getting into hydroponics. Vash's community has a lot of DGG infiltrators as well. I can see that making things hard to deal with, especially on Reddit. Do we need a subreddit? Should we have a subreddit? That is the question. Should I start a subreddit for this channel? I guess it would have to be called Luxander at this point. As much as I kind of want to drop the name Luxander and just switch to just being like the dragon or something like that, like, ugh. I think that my branding is just locked in. It's been so many years. I don't think I could reasonably change the name of my channel. The Demon Mama and Vash debate on supply lines and medicine, that was so difficult. That was so difficult to watch. Subreddit 100%. We want a subreddit? Yeah, Zephyr is my personal name, Alora. Like, that's like amongst my friends and people who know me personally kind of thing. Luxander is like what I'm going by as a creator and like the name of the channel, except that I kind of want to not do that anymore, but I don't think I can reasonably rebrand. The Discord is public. Everybody can join the Discord. There is a patron-only section of the Discord that doesn't get used very much, but the Discord is public. I know, that's what I'm saying, Sandu Tita. The dragon is distinct, or is a lot less distinct. I'm glad that you all like my name. Yeah. I haven't really switched my name either, for the most part, but I love the name Luxander, but I completely respect you wanting to change it. The Dragon Luxander. Zephyr the Dragon. No. I don't want people to call me Zephyr, like, as a creator. Like, you know, Vash's name is Ian, and he's got like a separation where like people in his personal life call him Ian, and then as a streamer he goes by Vash, and I really want to have that kind of separation. Zephyr is a kick-ass name, especially for a dragon. I know. I mean, it's really funny because it's like, it sounds like a really badass, like Zephyr sounds like it means like a strong wind, but it actually means a gentle breeze. Yeah, feel free to join the Discord. There is a link in the description of the YouTube page and a link up here in the website stuff, and then also !Discord in the website chat will take you there. I want to try Nox for myself. Nox is cool. Oscilla is still one of my favorite NB names. Frankly, I realized recently that I think that the word frog would be a really cute name. Frog would be really cute. Actually, at this point, if I were to choose a different name, like Zephyr is really cool, but I also think that one of the things that if I were to be like really trying to find a name right now, I would look at a bunch of different names of mushrooms and like choose something based on one of the like Latin names of a mushroom. That's probably what I would do at this point. Everybody, there's like non-binary things that people get into, or like transmasculine people really like rats, and like non-binary people have a couple of different things. I've never really resonated with any of those. Like non-binary transmascs get into rats. I don't like rats. Like there's a couple other things like that. I can't call any of them to mind right this second, but mushrooms is one of those things where it's like a lot of non-binary people are really into mushrooms, and I'm getting that now. Like it's happening to me. So I'm gonna like learn more about foraging and shit like that this year. I went through a lot of names to use for my gender fluidity and chose Lilith Nox for the feminine name and Rome Nox for the masculine name. I use them online on some of my social media now. Nice. Fungus is neat. They are neat. I'm non-binary and mushrooms creep me out. There are subreddits for mushrooms. Oh, I am very aware, Adria. That was one of the things that I specifically sought out. I found the mycology subreddit and the foraging subreddits. It's gonna be good. I'm excited. I got a like mushroom identification book on my Amazon wish list. It's probably gonna end up being like a bathroom book. I'm more trans guy, but my non-binary partner has infected me with his love of mushrooms. Yeah, it's been really great to see you again today, Alora. Have a great night. I hope you sleep well. Have you seen the YouTube videos of fungi hooked up to synthesizers? I have seen some clips of those, and it just seems like you're damaging the mushrooms. It makes me sad in a weird way. Marijuana Enthusiast is one of the only good subs. Is there gonna be any news in there? I've been considering growing my own psilocybin. It's apparently very, very difficult to grow mushrooms of any type. They are just really, really difficult to grow. Rats are cute, but I prefer cats. I prefer cats too. I still go hang out with my partner sometimes, even though we don't live together anymore. And I just love seeing the cat. He's so sweet. He's so sweet. He's so good. I sit on the couch and he actually gets in my lap. Like he's not a lap cat. He is a very big cat, but he's not big on laps. So because he's not usually big on laps, it's the first time in my life that I've ever understood that whole like, oh, I'm stuck here now because the cat's on my lap. Like I used to think, oh, that's stupid. I'm bigger than the cat. I'm going to put the cat on the floor if I don't want it in my lap. But that's when I had cats that were that just constantly wanted to be in my lap. I would be like, get away from me. Like it's too much. But since Mitternacht doesn't really like being on the lap very much, I can't kick him off. Because then he'll internalize that I don't want him there and he won't do it again. So every time he gets on my lap, I'm just like, I'm going to be here for hours. Or I'm just going to be here until he's done, basically. Oh, the hearts. Yes, he is such a sweet baby. And he like smushes his face against my face. Like, oh, he's so good. I rage against cat stereotypes about how they are assholes and don't let you pet them easily. It just depends on the cat. And it also, if you are not a person who respects the cats, then you have to like accept that they don't want your attention. You know, you have to do things on their terms. Okay, legit, cats are assholes is such a fucking annoying stereotype. I think it's fundamentally misogynistic. It's ironic that for something that grows so easily in the wild and on the roadside, mushrooms are difficult to grow at home, probably because of the mycelial network. My mom is one of those cats are assholes type of people, and we have 4 dogs, and all 4 of our dogs are abysmally asshole-ish. I think dogs are pretty obnoxious. I mean, dogs are fine, but dogs are animals that have been bred in such a way that they actually require training. Like, I really hate it when people have dogs that they just bark. I'm like, your dog should be trained well enough that it basically only barks when you want it to. Like, if you have a dog that barks every time someone knocks on the door or every time someone walks past your house on the sidewalk, like if they can see out the window and they can see that someone is walking past and they're like, oh, burr, 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 you failed as a fucking pet owner. Like, that shit is so deeply irritating to me. Dogs are like so much higher energy than cats, so if a dog wants to be an asshole, they're way more capable of being way more fucking annoying. They're also usually heavier. Like, dogs usually weigh more than cats, like, just typically. So they have way more ability to impose their obnoxiousness on you. Like, a 150-pound dog who decides that they want to lay on the couch is a lot harder to displace if the dog is in your spot. We have a part pit bull mutt, and she's so dense, she's so strong, she legit beats me up when she just wants to cuddle. She's my favorite dog, but God, she bruises me. I know, and they have such big heads, and they like boof, 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 and like pit bulls have such hard skulls that they just smack into shit, and they'll clip the bottom of your jaw and make your teeth like clack together. Jesus. Dogs have to be watched several times a day and they don't clean themselves like cats do. Yeah, I never like have to give my cats a bath unless they have fleas actively. She's so fucking cute, but God, she could take Logan Paul in a fight 1000%. I honestly think that most dogs could handle most people pretty well. I don't think we're equipped to fight dogs in that way. If you're out, in the woods and there's no one around, out of the corner of your eye, you spot him. Shia LaBeouf. No, but if you're out in the woods and there's like some fucking wolves or dogs running around, like that's a danger to you. That's a very serious danger to you. Sometimes we got to do a little reference, it happens occasionally. If you all don't know the song that I'm referencing right there, you should absolutely watch the Shia LaBeouf song. What is it? I don't even know what it's called. It's about how Shia LaBeouf is a serial murderer. By Rob Cantor. Great song. Small dogs make very loud barking noises and I'm scared of them. Small dogs who make loud noises are like the worst evolutionarily speaking. It's so irritating to me. I'm like, if we didn't live in a society where your dog was considered property, like I would kill the fuck out of your shitty little dog. Like, the worst thing for an animal to do when it sees a threat is to like, the worst thing for a tiny animal to do when it perceives a threat is to fucking draw a bunch of attention to itself. The least annoying of our 4 dogs is a Chihuahua who legit just does nothing but sleep and sit around and get pet. She missed the rage gene. She missed out on the rage. Shia LaBeouf live, yeah. Running for your life from Shia LaBeouf. He's brandishing a knife. It's Shia LaBeouf. Oh, gosh. I think Pomeranians are another one of those pretty rageful, annoying dogs. It's all right. when I move out and get my own pet, I'm only getting cats. I recommend trying bugs. Bugs are a good low maintenance pet for sure. And when they die, it kind of doesn't matter. Yeah, getting only one at a time. Sometimes I think that I think that having 2 cats is probably best because they can provide themselves with companionship when you're not around. Says the motherfucker who feels bad for mushrooms. Well, I'm not saying that I would kill my pods intentionally. But if they happen to die, that's not the same as intentionally clipping metal onto a mushroom. And then you can see the damage. It's like biting into the mushroom. Like, there's no way to do it and not permanently hurt the mushroom. But you did call me out a little bit there. You're right, though. My best friend recommended rats because they're apparently just little guys who hang out. I don't want rats personally because they have a lot of health issues and they die after like 3 years. Like, that is a crazy short amount of time to have a mammal pet. Anyway, we've been going for almost 3.5 hours. I'm getting a little bit tired and I need to make myself some dinner probably. I will be seeing you on Saturday night. We're going to have a weird, out of the ordinary stream on Saturday night, starting at about probably 6 p.m. And we're doing a debate/panel conversation. So look forward to that. I will be pinging you. Join the Discord if you want to get notifications for that. And I hope that you have a good couple of days because I will be seeing you on Saturday. Okay? And then we're not doing our stream on Sunday. I'm not doing a fucking clopen where I stay up until fucking 11 p.m. streaming on Saturday and then come back for goddamn Sunday morning. So we're streaming on Saturday. And I will see you later. Okay, bye. Goodbye. Goodbye.